The woman was threatened by the gangsters with a knife, and she was so frightened that she retreated step by step, and accidentally fell from the 5th floor, but fortunately there was no danger and hit the man's body. After recovering, she was glad that she had a good life, and then she noticed that there was another man beside her. When the woman saw it, she quickly pretended to be dizzy, her back hurt and her legs hurt, her whole body hurt everywhere, maybe she had a concussion. How could she deceive a man with such a little trick? And the fate of the two began at this moment. The woman's name is Runan, and she is the gold medal agent of Unspoken Entertainment. The man's name is GMO, the president of E-Fashion. But he never imagined that he and the woman who jumped off the building would meet so soon. On this day, he suddenly heard from his assistant that there was news from the house he had been waiting for. The landlord decided to rent it out, so he came to see the house as soon as possible. The assistant asked, "Aren't you the one who jumped off the building with Sister Runan? The owner of this house won't be Duga Runan, right? It's really a narrow road." Even so, Mr. G is determined to win this house. Unexpectedly, when he visited the house, Runan called from inside, completely unaware of the two people coming to the house. She has been talking about cooperation, and said that the president of E-Fashion is in the water and does not cooperate with us, and his company will go bankrupt sooner or later. If you don't cooperate, it's nothing special. I will blacklist them in the future, and I will never cooperate with such a brainless, visionless, and unpromising person. GMO, right? Don't let me hear this person's name in the future. Until she hung up the phone. Only then did I see that there were other people in the room. Mr. G hurriedly asked his assistant to take out his business card and hand it to her, and Runan was dumbfounded. "I am the GMO, the president of E-Fashion who has a bad brain and no future, as you said." Anyway, he heard all the bad words just now. Runan had no intention of renting the house to him, and asked Tong Tong to return the deposit to him. Tong Tong said, "Aren't you afraid of being harassed by others? Then rent the house to him, you can move away." One sentence woke up Runan: not only can you get the rent, but also prevent others from harassing you. This is a good thing to kill two birds with one stone. How could Runan miss it? However, there was a condition before signing the contract. Runan said, "No matter what happens in the future, you can't just check out." This is exactly what Mr. G wants. He not only plans to rent this house for a long time, but even plans to buy it. But he soon regretted it. On the first day he moved in, he received a courier. When he saw a few mice inside, he was so frightened that he trembled. Just as he was wondering if he had offended someone, he looked down and saw a card on the ground, and when he saw the handwriting on it, he understood it all. Mr. G came to Runan angrily and said, "This kind of thing happened when I just moved in. It's obvious that I'm here for you." Runan still has a job, so how can he have the leisure time to deal with him? Her indifferent attitude made Mr. G think that he must have been fooled by her, that female liar, right? Do you think that Mr. G can't do anything about her like this? The next second she was called to the police station, saying that she deliberately concealed the house information when signing the contract. This made Runan unexpected. She said, "It's just such a small thing, as for making trouble at the police station." So she pretended to be weak and sympathetic, although she didn't deceive Mr. G, but the police uncle believed it. Walking out of the gate of the police station, Mr. G applauded and said, "The performance is really good, it's a pity that I don't be an actor." But Mr. G's approach completely angered her. Runan said, "Let him move out immediately, I won't rent the house." Mr. G said, "Hey, I won't move." Runan said, "You have to move for me." Mr. G waited 3 years to live in this house, but he was about to move out after only one day, and he didn't know what to do all of a sudden, and he had nightmares at night. I thought of his ex-girlfriend again. Missing his ex-girlfriend, he actually sleepwalked and knocked on Runan's door, saying, "I'm sorry." Runan didn't accept it and asked him to move out immediately tomorrow. Mr. G said, "Actually, I've been waiting for you, don't leave me, okay?" His words of truth made Runan misunderstand. She thought that Mr. G liked her, and thought, "Is he in love with me?" So when the two met in the elevator in the morning, Runan talked about what happened last night, and she said, "I hope you can stop this unrealistic fantasy about me, your type is not my cup of tea." She said to herself that she couldn't fix Mr. G. Hearing Runan say that he apologized to him last night made him even more confused. Mr. G said, "It's a conjecture. In fact, Mr. G was sleepwalking yesterday, and of course he didn't remember it when he woke up, but his attitude completely angered Runan." Runan asked the interns in the company to throw all Mr. G's things outside the door. At first, Mr. G thought there was a thief at home, but when he entered the house, he found that it was this annoying woman again, and the things at the door must have been moved by her. Runan also said bluntly, I have refunded the rent to you. There is also a month's liquidated damages, so the contract we signed is also invalid. Mr. G said, do you think the whole world should revolve around you? He forced Runan to the sofa step by step, which frightened her, and he quickly left the room with his bag, thinking about drinking saliva to suppress the shock. I received another call from Tong Tong. Her artist Song Ziheo was partying in a bar. What should I do if I was photographed? I have to stop him. But the car keys couldn't be found, and it happened that Mr. G came to the door, and Runan asked, do you have a car? Can you give me a ride? Mr. G said, I don't have the habit of being a driver. Runan said, if you give me a ride, I will talk to you immediately. As a result, as soon as the two arrived at the door of the bar, the panicked Runan forgot to take the bag when he got out of the car. When he came to deliver the bag, he saw Runan being pushed by a group of people and almost fell. Fortunately, he came in time and helped Runan stand up. Mr. G said, you gang of people bullying a woman. The other party said, who are you? What does it have to do with you? Runan said, he is my boyfriend, if you have anything to look for him. He was kind enough to help, but Runan used it as a shield and pulled Song Ziheo away, left him in a pile of women. When he finally came out, the angry Song Ziheo had already driven away. Runan was afraid that he would have an accident, so he hurriedly chased him out in Mr. G's car, and did not forget to call him on the way. After Song Ziheo saw it, he stepped on the accelerator and raised the speed to the maximum. He has been very unstable lately. Runan said, Ziheo, don't do stupid things. As soon as Runan finished speaking, the distracted Song Ziheo collided with the oncoming truck. Fortunately, after emergency surgery by the doctor, he was out of danger, but it took a while to wake up. In order not to let the media know, she asked Tong Tong to block the news, delay the time as much as possible, and take countermeasures before the media knew. Unexpectedly, as soon as she left, Tong Tong took out her mobile phone to take a photo, posted the photo on Weibo, and made headlines overnight. Even Mr. G was implicated, saying that he stood up for the landlady and fought with Song Ziheo. He immediately called Runan and said, I was kind enough to help, but you dragged me into the water. Runan could only tell him that he was sorry. But Mr. G's anger could not be dissipated. I know you are really down. 8 lifetimes of blood mold. She quickly paid the price for her words. Runan was surrounded by a large number of reporters as soon as he left the company, all of whom came to dig up Song Ziheo's news. She lied to the outside world that she was in love with Mr. G. She said, I am in love with the president of E-Fashion, but the other party is an outsider, so I don't want too much public opinion to affect him. Because only by using new topics can we temporarily divert their attention. Mr. G was very angry when he saw this information, and said angrily, why did you provoke such a woman? Whatever he said, he had to pull her to clarify to reporters. Of course Runan won't go to this kind of slap in the face. Mr. G said, how can you sell me to protect your artist? Runan said, do you think I am willing to give you the title of boyfriend? That is the shame of my life. When Mr. G pulled her, he accidentally tore off her pajamas, and Runan happened to use the topic to play. Hey, what are you doing? Then quickly closed the door. After changing her clothes, she was about to go to work, but she didn't expect to be grabbed by one of her feet just as she went out, causing her to scream in fright. It turned out that Mr. G didn't leave, he had been waiting for her at the door. Mr. G said, the matter between the two has not been clarified, and I will not leave. Runan said, you save it, it's not soft but hard, right? The next second he picked up Runan and prepared to go to the reporter. But he didn't expect Runan to faint on his shoulder, shouted several times without moving, and patted her face without responding. Mr. G said, isn't it not hard enough? Was about to slap her when she came to her senses. Runan said, let Mr. G call an ambulance quickly, and be sure to go through the back door, there is a reporter in front. Mr. G said, I want to see how long you can pretend, and when the ambulance comes, I will find a way to escape. Deal with this kind of person who loves to pretend. Mr. G has a way. Called his doctor friend to give Runan a few injections, and now Runan was scared. How could he dare to pretend to do it again? The dizziness was cured immediately, and he had to go to work. Such a good opportunity to tease her, of course, Mr. G had to use it. The two insisted on giving Runan an injection together, and now it was good, and she fainted again. At first, they thought it was Runan's clothes again, but the needles were stuck in her hands, and this time she hadn't woken up, so the two found out that they were in trouble and quickly sent her to the hospital. After a doctor's examination, it was caused by poor rest for a long time. Mr. G has been watching her wake up, and the first thing Runan did when he woke up was to see Song Ziheo, who was still in a coma. I can't see that this woman still has a bit of a conscience, and she really cares about her artist. At the same time, Mr. G's opinion on her has also changed. So when he went to work in the company, in the face of the reporter's question, he not only did not clarify the relationship between the two, but asked the reporter not to put too much pressure on Runan. The assistant couldn't help but tease him. "You are different from other girls," Mr. G said. "Even if there is no woman in this world, I will not fall in love with Runan." But he was quickly slapped in the face by himself. "When I saw a drunken young man in the elevator after get off work at night, I realized that she had been fired by the boss and looked at her sad and painful appearance." Mr. G also personally sent her home. When leaving, Runan held his hand, hoping that he could stay. He really didn't leave, and made breakfast for Runan. Seeing Runan wake up, he couldn't help but think about teasing her. Mr. G said, "You tossed me all night last night, don't you admit it?" Runan felt guilty when he thought about last night, and said, "I should have done nothing, right?" Mr. G approached her step by step and said, "I have never seen you so enthusiastic." The more he said that Runan became, the more guilty he became, and Runan said, "That's all my drunken and unconscious behavior. In fact, I am a very rational person." Mr. G said, "Then I can't let you toss all night in vain, you have to be responsible for me." Runan asked him to pretend that nothing happened last night. But Mr. G had a condition: just sell your house to me. Runan resolutely disagreed and said, "Are you trying to deceive me after making trouble for a long time?" The angry Mr. G pulled her to redo what happened last night, but he frightened Runan. Runan said, "I can help you extend the lease. If I want to sell this house, you are the first thing I will consider." Mr. G believed her words for the time being. Before leaving, he also encouraged Runan to get up wherever he fell, and never give up on himself. Runan felt that although he hated him, what he said was quite reasonable. As soon as dawn broke, she took the information to find the boss and promised the company's directors that within 1 year, an artist would be retrained to take over Song Ziheo's work. The directors all thought it was impossible. Runan issued a military order: "If I don't do it within 1 year, I will pay you double the liquidated damages." The directors said, "Then we will wait for you for a year. The big thing is to say it, but how can you find a suitable artist?" So she searched within the company, and Runan said, "If any of you are willing to stay with me, I will personally cultivate you. If you don't want to, you can leave now." Unexpectedly, as soon as she finished speaking, the artists in the company instantly walked away. Runan said, "Hey, don't you think about it? Because Runan is notoriously violent, Song Ziheo has an accident because of her, how can any artist be willing to follow her?" In the end, she chose a silly boy star who has been running for 1 year and no one wants to take it. Because Runan firmly believes that with her strength, this silly boy will definitely be more popular than Song Ziheo. First took this silly boy to get a hairstyle, and then took him to the mall, picked out a few suitable clothes for him. Runan said, "From today onwards, if you want to learn to be a star, start by dressing up." As long as it is what she wants to do, there is no unsuccess. But people in the company laughed at her and didn't know what she thought. Go to sign a contract with someone who no one wants to play tricks, and they are waiting to see her make a fool of themselves. If the man doesn't let them succeed, he must cultivate this artist himself. Let him act according to this script first. It's okay not to watch her perform. At first glance, Runan almost died of anger. No wonder he ran for a year and no one signed it. Asked him if he had a better role, and he was lying on the floor all of a sudden. Runan shouted several times but didn't respond, so he reached out to his breath and quickly shouted, "Ka!" It turned out that he had been running in the crew for a year, and he was full of corpses. Now Runan regrets it to death. How could he sign such an artist? Wanted to make him popular within a year, even she, the gold medal agent, was worried and was about to suffer from anxiety. Knowing that G always studied psychology, he wanted to ask him to help enlighten. See if Mr. G has any way. Mr. G said, "Find a boyfriend to vent your inner emotions, and don't harass your male neighbors while drunk." Runan said, "Isn't this playing tricks?" But Mr. G stood up suddenly, pushing her down on the sofa. They could hear each other's heartbeats from a distance so close. The nervous Runan pushed him away all of a sudden and said, "You are so frivolous and heartless to a woman, you must not have truly loved anyone." Her words poked at Mr. G's pain point. Mr. G said, "What qualifications do you have to ask me? Don't send it. It seems that others can't count on it, and they have to rely on themselves." The next day she personally let Star practice swimming, her perfect figure. The girls on the side drooled after seeing it, and also let Runan see hope. Since the performance is not good, it's better to be a model first, but where to find resources has become a problem. Fortunately, her good girlfriend Chinfeir is a model, so she asked her for help. It just so happened that Chinfeir signed a new company, and there was a big show to go next. She immediately found her partner Mr. G, and Chinfeir said, "This new product catwalk, I want to bring a male model to the stage." At first, Mr. G didn't agree, because they had already rehearsed, and if they rehearsed again, it would delay the construction period. Chinfeir said, "You don't have to worry about this, I will be responsible for helping him rehearse." Mr. G said, "It seems that you are very interested in this model." Mr. G asked, "Are you jealous?" Chinfeir said, "I am never jealous." But Chinfeir thinks you haven't met someone who makes you jealous. For people like him, Mr. G was afraid and finally agreed to her request. When the two shook hands, he was dragged to him by Chinfeir all of a sudden. He also kissed him on the face, which stunned Mr. G. What surprised him even more was still behind. Mr. G asked, "Today is the catwalk, where is the male model you mentioned?" Chinfeir said, "It's coming soon, you know his agent, and I know him too." When he saw the visitor, he was dumbfounded. Just now, Runan brought the artist to meet Mr. G, hoping that he could give the artist a chance to go on stage. But this brand show is very important to Mr. G, this artist has no strength and specialty, but he can't stand Runan's eloquent mouth. Mr. G agreed to give him a chance. Feir led him to the fitting room to change clothes. This child is naturally conservative, and he is awkward when changing clothes. Mr. G came to call him out on stage, and he pulled Mr. G in and asked him to see what he was wearing. Star said, "Is this dress qualified? I just want to take it off and show you alone, are you satisfied?" The angry Mr. G kicked and beat him out of the fitting room. When Runan saw it, he hurriedly asked what was going on, and Mr. G said, "He actually seduced me." Star said, "It was Sister Feir who asked me to take off my clothes and wait for someone to come for an interview." Star said, "I don't dare to show it to others yet, I want to show it to her first." Mr. G said, "I'm afraid that others will see it, what kind of model do you have? What stage?" However, this has just begun. In the next catwalk session, although Feir repeatedly told him to relax, "Isn't there still me?" But when Feir had physical contact with him, he fainted on the catwalk for the first time. Mr. G, who studies psychology, sees that this is the manifestation of heterosexual communication disorder. As long as he comes into contact with the opposite sex, he will be tense all over his body, and in severe cases, he may faint. Mr. G said, "How can a person like him be a model? You should find him a psychiatrist." Runan said, "Aren't you a psychiatrist?" This finally has a chance to go on stage. How could Runan give up easily, wanting Mr. G to change his mind and immediately become his assistant? He personally served coffee for Mr. G and gave him paper in the bathroom. Mr. G collapsed all day long, and I just hoped that the farther away I was from her, the better. I just got rid of one here, and I haven't walked out of the company yet, and another one is coming. She is Mr. G's suitor. The suitor said, "I want to ask him out for dinner." Mr. G said, "No time." The suitor said, "The day after tomorrow." Mr. G said, It's busy every day." For fear that she would entangle herself, she left quickly. As a result, seeing Runan walking this way, with wolves in front and tigers in the back, he thought for a moment and chose Runan and asked her for help. Runan said, "After the matter is completed, give Star a chance to interview." Mr. G said, "Deal." Mr. G asked, "Then what now?" Runan said, "I'll deal with it." Dealing with such a woman is not a piece of cake for Runan. The suitor said, "Mr. G, how can you like this kind of old woman?" Runan said, "Yes, everyone is a woman, why attack age?" The suitor said, "Old woman, old woman, old woman." Ruonan Chong suppressed the anger in his heart, pushed Mr. G aside, and said, "What if you are old? My sister has eaten more salt than you have eaten. A good woman like me is like a residence in the central business district, although she is a little older, but the location is good and the value is high, and many people can't buy it in line. A brainless young girl like you is like a new real estate in the suburbs, with a low age and low price, and no one wants it even if there are advertisements all over the street." A few simple words made the woman speechless. The suitor turned his head and asked Mr. G what he liked about her. Mr. G said, "She makes my life full of excitement." Mr. G's words also came from the heart, and he didn't expect Runan to be so exciting, which really added excitement to his ordinary life. The play is over. It's time for the two of them to discuss business. If the man wants him to fulfill his promise, he is a big president, and of course what he said counts. Finally got Star a chance to interview. But he quickly paid for his actions, and the woman found him in the evening. Looking around the room for Mr. G's shadow, he didn't notice that the overturned candle had fallen into the paper basket. The two of them who were just arguing didn't notice, and by the time they found out, it was too late, and the woman was so frightened that she fled in a hurry. Runan quickly dialed 119. After that, her house became what it is now. She blamed all this on Mr. G's head, and Runan said, "The woman who blames you, if it weren't for you, my house wouldn't have become like this." Mr. G didn't forget to put a coat on her. Mr. G said, "Let her find a place to stay first, and I will do everything." Feeling depressed, she could only go to the bar and get drunk. In the end, Star carried her home, and she lay on the bed dizzy and fell asleep. Mr. G, who came out of the shower, sent a message to Runan. Heard the sound in his bedroom. Misheard. To be sure, he made another call, and sure enough, the sound came from the bedroom. He opened the door and saw that it was really here. A room was full of alcohol, and Mr. G said, "Wake up, who let you sleep in my bed?" Mr. G asked, "How did you come in?" Originally, Runan slept well, but after he shouted, she woke up and vomited all over the room, and even vomited Mr. G. After Runan said, "I'm sorry," he continued to fall asleep. It wasn't until she woke up the next day that she found out what was on her body. "The clothes are not yesterday's." Runan asked, "Why am I wearing your clothes?" "What about my clothes?" Mr. G said, "I took it off." When Runan heard that it was Mr. G who helped her change clothes, this was unacceptable, and asked, "Did you do anything excessive to me last night?" Mr. G said, "I stay in the modeling circle every day." Mr. G said, "What kind of thing have I never seen?" "Just the layer of fat on your stomach. Hey, may I be interested in you?" This is too hurtful to self-esteem. Although his mouth was poisonous, he knew that Runan had no place to live, and agreed to let her live in this house temporarily, but he had to follow the rules in the contract. But he soon regretted it. After get off work at night, he saw Runan making a mess of the house, and even seized his bedroom and threw all her things into the guest room. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode, and he shouted Runan's name. The contract clearly says no invasion of the privacy space of both parties. In fact, if the men didn't read the contract at all. But Mr. G, who has a cleanliness fetish, can't stand living with such a sloppy woman and wants to drive her away. In an irritable mood, he started sleepwalking again, holding the diamond ring that had not been given away. Sleepwalking to Runan's room, took one of her pajamas, and shook her awake vigorously. But Runan was frightened, and she said, "Is this my underwear?" Mr. G sleepwalked and said, "Look at her and say that this fabric lacks texture, take it back and redo it." Before Runan could realize what was going on, he grabbed Runan. He put the ring on her hand and kept saying, "I'm sorry, stay with me." Runan called him a few times without any reaction, thinking that he should be sleepwalking. The most annoying thing was that he fell asleep on the bed. No matter how Runan called him, he didn't respond at all, and in the end she could only stay on the sofa for a night. After waking up, he kicked him hard with his feet, and Mr. G woke up in a daze. He didn't remember what happened last night until Runan took out the ring for him. Runan told him, "If you are sick, you have to be cured, don't do too much to me when you fall asleep one day. You must sign a contract as soon as possible so that you can better protect yourself. But the contract is full of overlord clauses, and what shoes must be classified by color shade. There must be no water stains in the sink, and there must be no hair on the floor in the common area." The funniest thing for her was that it said that you couldn't fall in love with each other during the contract, otherwise you would have to move out of the house. Runan said, "Even if I am blind, this kind of thing will not happen." Mr. G also immediately responded, "If I like you, I will move away immediately." Neither of them had any objection to this last one, and they were confident that they would not fall in love with each other. In the evening, Runan made a table of dinner to invite Mr. G, ostensibly to celebrate the first day of the two sharing the house. In fact, he asked Mr. G to give him a psychotherapy. But Mr. G saw his performance on stage that day, and felt that he was not suitable to be a model, so it was better to give up as soon as possible. His indifferent attitude also made Runan think, it is better to ask for yourself than to ask for others. "I didn't sleep all night, and I was reading psychology books." When Mr. G woke up the next day, he felt a little touched when he saw it. But he still didn't change his mind. It wasn't until he came to the company that Runan's assistant Tong Tong found him and recommended many male models. Mr. G said, "You want to squeeze out Star and engage in vicious internal competition, right?" Mr. G hates people who make small moves behind his back the most in his life, and Mr. G knows exactly what kind of person he is. If it weren't for him, Runan would not have been fired. But Tong Tong said that Mr. G did not distinguish between public and private, brought personal emotions to work, and said that Runan used means to help his artists get to the top. Tong Tong said, "Only those who are dirty will feel that others are dirty." It was also because she came to such a place that Mr. G changed his mind and immediately asked Star to come to the company. Treat him personally. First of all, let him try on clothes for the female model, but when the female model approached him, he was so frightened that he fell to the ground, and the closer he got to him, the more scared he became. Mr. G looked at him like this, and also found the key to the problem. Mr. G asked, "Do you have anyone you like?" Before Star could say anything, Runan's appearance interrupted them. From his expression, Mr. G saw that Star had someone he liked, he had feelings, and he was sure in his heart, and he would definitely be able to cure his disease. Sure enough, after a period of treatment, Star's simulation training is much better, and the contact with Fair, at least he didn't faint, which can be regarded as an improvement. If you practice more before the big show, there should be no problem. Unexpectedly, the big show hadn't started yet, and Runan had problems again, and his ex-boyfriend suddenly wrote a letter, asked Runan to attend his wedding. At that time, her boyfriend Lin Huan was the artist she brought, but he abandoned Runan after she became popular. Now that he sees his wedding invitation again, how can Runan not be sad? She didn't even come to Star's training and kept herself trapped in the room. Mr. G outside the door was very worried about her. The catwalk is coming soon, and Star is very nervous. Mr. G said, "Don't delay this big show because of nervousness." Star asked, "Do you like Sister Runan?" Mr. G said, "If I like you, I will move away immediately." Runan said, "Even if I am blind, this kind of thing will not happen. Single men and women share a house together, and in order to protect their respective rights and interests, they sign a contract. They are not allowed to fall in love with each other during the period of sharing the house, and violators will move away immediately." Runan said worriedly, "A beautiful girl like me, what if you fall in love with me?" Mr. G said, "The probability of this kind of thing happening is 0, even if I am blind, this kind of thing will not happen." Both of them were confident that they would not like each other, but they quickly slapped each other in the face. Runan received an invitation from his ex-boyfriend to get married, and Mr. G was so worried that he was worried. Guarding outside her door, all this was seen by Star. Star asked, "Do you like Sister Runan?" One sentence stopped him. Dismissing the people in the fitting room, seeing Star's appearance full of jealousy, Star asked, "Is the woman you say you like a young man?" Star said, "It's Sister Runan. I just like Sister Runan. I like her very, very, very much." Star was blunt. Mr. G also made it clear, "Don't worry, I'm not interested in her." He couldn't say too much, and he soon realized Runan's status in his heart. In the next catwalk, Star performed very well, because she had someone she liked in her heart and didn't want her to be disappointed in herself. Also because of this catwalk, Star became completely popular. Reporters rushed to interview him, and Runan fell in the crowd, and G always wanted to go over but was stopped by Chen Feier, who said, "Now is not the time for you to pass." He could only watch Star leave here holding Runan. At this moment, he felt very uncomfortable. When he returned home and waited until midnight, Runan hadn't come back, so he couldn't help but call her. Mr. G said, "Who are you? Look at what time it is now, and you haven't come back." Runan said, "I want to go home at what time, can you control it?" Knowing that Runan was drinking again, he immediately came to pick her up in the middle of the night. Seeing that Runan was drunk and complained about Star, Mr. G said, "As his artist, do you care about the agent?" After that, he pulled Runan home. Star disagreed, and Mr. G said, "Do you know where he lives?" "He lives with me now." Star could only watch the two leave. After returning home, Runan started a drunken madness again, and the whole person hung around Mr. G's neck. "I couldn't shake it off, and I kissed Mr. G while he was drunk." This sudden kiss made Mr. G dumb, and he was stunned there for a long time without realizing what was going on. He also made breakfast for Runan early in the morning, and he was so considerate that he said he didn't like others. After arriving at the company, I saw comments on the internet, all of which attacked Runan, saying that Song Zihao had a car accident because of her. Mr. G was very angry when he saw it, and immediately replied to them, "Runan is innocent, I was at the scene at the time." but he quickly reacted. Mr. G thought to himself, why am I doing this? Is it evil? This is the manifestation of liking someone subconsciously to protect her, even without even realizing it. I heard the assistant say that Star was filming in the studio, and asked, will his agent follow? The assistant said, it should be. He immediately dropped his job and went to the studio. Seeing Runan and Star so close, he felt an indescribable feeling in his heart, because he knew that Star liked Runan. Next, he wanted to take a set of angry photos, and Mr. G deliberately hugged Runan and showed it in front of Star. This not only allows him to successfully complete the filming, but also allows him to take the opportunity to contact Runan openly, which is really a good thing to kill two birds with one stone. After he did this, their relationship spread in the company, and it also aroused Tongtong's jealousy. Tongtong said, the reason why Star became popular quickly is not because you rely on men to get on top. Runan said, never beat a person with your mouth, you must use your mind and strength. Dropped these few words and left in style. And the reason why Star became popular so smoothly is really due to Mr. G. So Runan decided to treat him to a meal. Runan said, anyway, now that Star has more work, I also have money, so I can choose whatever I want. Mr. G said, okay. But he was dumbfounded when he saw the menu, and Mr. G said, are you deliberately looking for such an expensive restaurant? Runan said, didn't anyone say that he was rich? The next G always wanted to be a little more expensive, and he was angry with Runan, but there was no way to do it. Drunk himself again. Star, who sent her home, was worried. One wanted to take care of Runan, and the other was worried about Mr. G, and secretly slept on his bed. The next day, Mr. G asked him to change all the sheets. Star also knew that he had somnambulism, and he was even more worried about the two sharing a house. He had to pay for Mr. G to go out and rent another one. Mr. G said, actually, it's not about money, because there are memories of my ex-girlfriend in this house. Mr. G said, I have to live here and keep our memories. No one can replace her place in my heart, and I will not fall in love with Runan. Now Star was relieved and told Runan about it in a blink of an eye. Knowing that he had a knot, Runan tried to enlighten him at night. Runan said, people must learn to let go. I know the reason why you have to live in this house is because of your ex-girlfriend. Why did you separate? Is it because of some misunderstanding? Mr. G said, I warn you, don't mention this matter again, believe it or not, I will let you move out now. The woman and her boss went on a business trip to the wilderness, and the car ran out of gas, so they could only find a homestay to live temporarily. But they only had one room left, and Mr. G asked the boss to think of a way again, and Mr. G said, we are not suitable to live together. In the middle of the night, the boss said, lonely men and women come out to open a house, what are you pretending to be reserved? In short, we only have one room left, you two will take care of it. Runan took the room card and said, you can't sleep on the street, right? Mr. G was not very happy and said, I'm still a man anyway. Mr. G said, don't you have scruples? Ruanan was not afraid and said, the contract between the two is clearly written, if you do anything to me, you will move away immediately tomorrow. As soon as these words came out, Mr. G took off his shirt, slowly climbed onto the bed, and said, I can give up on any contract that is not contracted. But Runan was very nervous, and after making trouble for a long time, he was turning on the light, which was really a false alarm. While Runan was going to take a shower, he called the landlord and asked them to send him a quilt and a hair dryer. Unexpectedly, the proprietress only brought him a bath towel and a fan. Mr. G said, Auntie, what I want is a hair dryer, not an electric fan. The proprietress said, we are not a big hotel, and we don't have a hair dryer. When leaving, he also specially advised, be quiet. Hey, I really misunderstood the relationship between the two. Since there was no quilt, the two could only sleep in the same bed. The nervous Runan didn't sleep well all night, but Mr. G slept until dawn, and insomnia did not attack. Does this woman work better than medicine? With the last time they shared a bed, the relationship between the two is not as tense as before. He saw Song Ziheo wake up on the internet, and he also replaced Runan and let Tong Tong be his agent, and was willing to reduce the price to shoot, squeezing out Star's next job. And he also advised Star in front of Runan that it was best to stay away from this kind of mercenary woman. Song Ziheo said, maybe one day she will kick you when she runs out of you. Star said, you can insult me, but you can't insult Sister Runan. Runan didn't want to be like a person like him and wanted to leave here. Song Ziheo said, why are you so excited? Have you slept? Star really couldn't bear it. Song Ziheo was beaten, and the two fought at the filming location, and the men couldn't hold it. And Tong Tong, a woman, quickly recorded it with her mobile phone, and disguised Song Ziheo as seriously injured and held a press conference. The current situation is very unfavorable to them. After Mr. G found out, he was afraid that something would happen to Runan, so he didn't eat the meal he had originally agreed with his senior brother Fayer, and went home early to care for Runan. Unexpectedly, Runan was unusual and said, "The contract clearly stipulates not to interfere with the privacy of the other party." This made Mr. G very incomprehensible and asked, "Isn't it okay in the morning? How did I recruit you?" Runan said, "Eyes are useless, right? Discharge everywhere to seduce people." Mr. G asked, "Who have I seduced?" Runan changed so much because the two spent the night outside, and Fayer and Star stayed at their door all night. When she woke up and found that the two had not come back, Fayer couldn't bear it anymore and said, "Wishful thinking will not yield results." So she made an appointment with Runan and asked her straight to the point if she liked Mr. G. Runan also told her clearly. Runan said, "I have nothing to do with Mr. G." From Fayer's expression, she could see that Fayer liked Mr. G. Fayer said, "I like GMO. So even if I like him no matter what, I still choose to quit." The unaware Mr. G was still worried in the company about which tendon Runan had built wrong. Fayer was also petty and did not agree to shoot. This embarrassed the assistant, so he quickly asked the staff to buy a bouquet of flowers and send them in the name of Mr. G. Originally, Fayer was still angry with Mr. G, but when she heard the agent say that Mr. G sent her flowers, completely ignoring the image of a lady, I ran over, knowing that I was allergic to pollen, and I couldn't put it down. After all, the people who gave flowers were different. Then there is no need to put on a score anymore, hurry up and go to the studio to shoot. But during the shooting process, allergies suddenly appeared. Mr. G asked, "What's going on?" Fayer said, "I just ate something I was allergic to." Mr. G was very angry and said, "You know you have to work today, but you don't want to eat it. As a professional model, is this what you should do?" Fayer said, "If she hadn't received the flowers you sent, could she have allergies?" Mr. G said, "Huh? The flowers I sent." Turning her head to ask the assistant, Fayer fainted at this time. Mr. G hurriedly hugged her and sent her to the hospital, and apologized to Fayer, "You blame me for my bad attitude just now, but I didn't know you were allergic to pollen." Fayer said, "It's okay, who made me like you?" The president was in the car unintentionally. Discovering his girlfriend's secret, he angrily found her with evidence, and insisted on giving Runan an explanation. Mr. G asked, "If I didn't find out, have you already sold the house?" Runan said, "I have no choice, I have no money." Mr. G said, "You don't have money and won't ask me. What do you think of me?" In fact, Runan also thought about speaking to him. After all, he was the president of a large company, but she swallowed it back when the words came to her lips. The two haven't reached that point yet, so she doesn't want to trouble Mr. G. Mr. G said, "Do you still have less to trouble me?" Runan said, "So you think I'm in trouble?" Mr. G said, "Yes, you are a big trouble." In fact, in the days when the two were sharing a house, Runan had already entered his heart unconsciously. Mr. G also thought that the two could become friends who talked about everything, but now she actually sold the house behind her back. He clearly regarded him as an outsider, so he was very angry. His attitude made Runan misunderstand that he couldn't forget his ex-girlfriend and cared so much about the house. Mr. G was so angry that he drove away. I thought that 3 years ago he received a call saying that his girlfriend had cancer and was dying. He rushed over as soon as he received the call and didn't even see her for the last time. For so many years, he has been deeply blaming himself and has not noticed anything unusual about his girlfriend. After careful consideration, he decided to move out of the house. No matter how good the assistant is, he couldn't listen to it and felt that leaving now was the best choice for the two of them. When Runan came home from get off work, he saw that he had moved away, and there was still a contract between the two of them on the table, and he felt very uncomfortable. Just had feelings for him, and he left without saying goodbye. A person relieves his sorrows by drinking. He said, "I will live well alone," but his heart hurt like a needle. When I saw the items he left in the bathroom, I couldn't help but cry bitterly. How much better can Mr. G be? Since moving out, I have no intention of working at all, and I can't draw design drawings. It's not that the pen is not easy to use, or that the paper is too thin, which makes the assistant too big, and the sponsor is too difficult to serve. I just wanted to accompany Mr. G out to relax and relax. Mr. G said, "Okay, you can accompany me to a place." The assistant said, "You can do it anywhere." The next second, the two came to the hot pot restaurant. This is Runan's favorite spicy pot. Seeing the assistant grinning so spicy, he couldn't help but think of the happy time when Runan and the two of them had dinner together, so he immediately came to inspiration. After going back, the design draft was quickly drawn, and he was more sure Runan has become an indispensable part of his life. The next day he met with Fayer and gave her a card, and Mr. G said, "I want Fayer to help transfer it to Runan, but you can't mention my name, just say that you gave it." Fayer said, "It's generous enough, it's silently giving." Fayer asked, "Are you out of concern for Runan, or do you have selfish intentions to keep this house?" Mr. G replied, "There is both concern and selfishness." His answer made Fayer very dissatisfied, and Fayer said, "You are divided enough, while thinking about Ruanan, you still can't forget your ex-girlfriend." After saying that, he went straight to a glass of wine poured on Mr. G's head. Fayer said, "If you dare to bully Runan again in the future, the next time it will fall on your head will be a wine bottle." In fact, there is nothing wrong with Fayer's words, she is really difficult to choose now. At the same time, Runan also found Fayer, and Runan said, "I seem to like Mr. G last time." Runan said, "But he has an ex-girlfriend who has a very important place in his heart." Fayer asked, "Then what do you think in your heart now? If GMO comes to you again, or cares about you, will you be shaken?" Runan said duplicitously, "I don't feel for him anymore." Fayer then took out the card and asked her to redeem the house with the money inside. Runan was not polite and said, "I will return the money to you immediately when I make it." Fayer said, "No need to pay it back, it's not my money anyway. I almost missed my mouth. Quickly told a lie to you on over." In fact, Runan is not so bad now. In order to be worthy of her, Star wrote an original song, Big Woman, which is based on Runan. Played very well on the stage and was recognized by the judges. Successfully advanced, the semi-finals are coming soon. She wanted Mr. G to witness the most important day of her life, and Mr. G agreed, because he also wanted to see Runan. "I came to the game site early, but I didn't expect something to go wrong before the game started." Star actually confessed to Runan before going on the stage, and Star said, "I really like your sister, as long as you want, I will always be by your side." Runan also told him clearly, "You are my artist, I am your agent, and I will never fall in love with an artist again in my life." Runan said, "You either work hard or terminate the contract immediately." The conversation between the two was clearly heard by Mr. G behind. And Star, who was rejected for his confession, chose to withdraw on the spot, and his decision made Runan never expected. After working hard to get to this day, he is so spirited. Walking alone in the rain, he couldn't bear to see his sad Mr. G appear with an umbrella. This was the first time the two met after he said goodbye, and Runan couldn't help but ask him, "Have you ever been tempted by me?" Runan asked, "Have you ever liked me?" Mr. G turned his head to look at her, hesitated for a long time, and never spoke. Runan said, "If not, please don't come to me again in the future." The love given was not answered, and Runan left sadly alone. Mr. G looked at her distant back and never took that step, because he was still thinking about his ex-girlfriend in his heart. After returning home, Runan saw the items he left behind and threw them into the trash can without hesitation, ready to completely forget him and no longer leave any thoughts about himself. It just so happened that the boss asked her and Star to go on a business trip to Yunnan, and she took this opportunity to heal. When she went back to pack her clothes, Fayer accidentally said something that slipped her mouth, and Runan still let Runan know about the stuck. Learned that Mr. G was silently helping her behind her back. Her uncomfortable mood also improved a lot. Fayer also learned from Ellie's mouth that Mr. G had Runan in his heart, and he wanted to tell her about Runan's business trip, but was stopped by Runan. Runan said, "Some things can't be forced, but sometimes fate comes, and you can't stop it." The two have been in Yunnan for many days and plan to take a day off. They came to a tree, and Star asked her to make a wish, but she said, "Now my biggest wish is that you can become popular, so that I can live a life of counting money at home every day." Star asked, "Don't you have any other wishes?" Runan replied, "There is nothing else, just greed for money." Although she said so, while Star was not paying attention, she secretly made a wish, "If I can meet him again, I hope I will be braver." Star asked her what wish she had made when she saw it. She said, "It's a wish that won't come true. I didn't expect to turn my head and see Mr. G here. This is too smart, isn't it?" At the same time, Mr. G, who turned his head, also saw her. Mr. G said, "Runan, what a coincidence. Runan walked over excitedly and hugged Mr. G all of a sudden. Mistakenly thought that G always came to her on purpose. Runan said, I just said that you must be brave when I meet you again. But Mr. G never responded to her, and Mr. G said, it's just a coincidence, I'm here to work. Runan didn't believe it and said, please find an excuse to convince me. Mr. G said, if I knew you were here, I would never have done it. Runan said, this is too hurtful. Now Runan no longer had any hope for him, and watched him turn away. When she came to her senses, she found that Star was missing, and no one answered the phone. So she began to look for Star. In fact, Mr. G did not leave at all, and kept guarding behind her. Mr. G comforted her and said, don't worry, maybe he has gone back, why don't I send you back? As a result, Mr. G found that the two were staying in the same hotel. Just wanted to say that I also lived here, but was interrupted by Runan. Runan said, I hope we don't meet again in the future, I don't like coincidences. Mr. G said, but this is really a coincidence, I also stay in this hotel. After saying that, he took out his room card. Early the next morning, Mr. G told Runan that he had not returned all night. The two decided to go to him together. Just as Star came back, the worried Runan hugged him all of a sudden, and Mr. G felt very uncomfortable when he saw it. Unexpectedly, Runan found him again at night and drank a lot of wine, because only in this way did she dare to say what was in her heart. I want to fight for myself again. Runan asked, do you like me? But Mr. G still remained silent. Runan felt aggrieved and said, I've come to you today, what do you want me to do? Is it so difficult to admit that you like me? Do you like me or not? Mr. G said, I like you, but I can't let go of the past. Now Runan understood, to put it bluntly, there is no fate. Runan also decided to take a step back and said, if you don't fall in love, you can always be friends, right? The next morning, she received breakfast from the waiter. There is also a card, friend, see you in Shanghai. It turned out that Mr. G left early in the morning, and she had also completed her work here and was ready to go back. Before the plane took off, she accidentally touched the red wine of the man next to her, and Runan said, I'm sorry, I'll compensate you for your clothes. The other party said, it's okay, I have a change of clothes. Runan thought it was just an unexpected encounter, but when he went to report to the company, he met a man on the plane again. He is Mr. Zhao of a large company, and he came to cooperate with their company today. Mr. Zhao made it clear, I am particularly optimistic about the future development of Star and hope to cooperate with you. Being favored by a large company, Runan was of course very happy. However, this scene was jealous of Tong Tong, and she hinted that she relied on a man to get on top, and said that she had just used Mr. G before, and this would be back and forth with Mr. Zhao. Tong Tong said, it just so happens that my mother is very upset today. Runan said, I'm ouch. Before Runan could make a move, she fell first. Runan didn't have the time to waste time here with her. Unexpectedly, Mr. Zhao never left, and wanted to wait for Runan to treat her to dinner after get off work. Was rejected by Runan. Mr. Zhao said, I was thinking of talking to you about the spokesperson during dinner. As soon as he heard that it was a work matter, Runan immediately agreed. As everyone knows, this man approached her for another purpose. Mr. Zhao said, I have something I want to ask you for. Mr. Zhao said, the film festival invited me to a charity dinner, and I would like to invite you to be my female companion. Runan refused without thinking, I have been very busy with work recently and have no time. At this time, Feier appeared. Runan hurriedly walked over and said to Feier, why are you here now? Hurry up and talk to me and pretend I'm busy. Feier said, what are you doing? Who are you hiding? She turned her head to see Mr. Zhao behind her, not only showing a nymphomaniac expression. After seeing it, Mr. Zhao also walked over and said, this is an invitation, I hope you will think about it again. Feier said, maybe it's really not done, I agreed for her. Without Runan's consent, Feier made the decision for her, and immediately made a back check to Mr. Zhao, where can I find such a handsome and rich man? A diamond king Lao Wu, not only handsome, but also has no scandals, is simply twice as strong as Mr. G. The invitations were all accepted, and Runan had no reason not to go. As soon as Mr. G heard that she was going to participate in the Asian Film Festival, he immediately measured her and made her a dress with his own hands. In the evening, Runan put it on and attended the dinner with Mr. Zhao, which immediately attracted a large number of reporters. During the interview, Mr. Zhao told reporters very clearly, I hope to have further development with Runan. Runan felt that this was not good and could easily cause misunderstandings among others. Mr. Zhao replied, what the entertainment industry needs is a topic, and there is a topic to be hot. This is good for the development of Star, and it is indeed a good business. Then Runan received a call, and Mr. G said, today's dress fits very well, you look beautiful. Only then did Runan see that Mr. G also came to the dinner scene. The two agreed to chat together after the dinner, but the next second Mr. G saw Mr. Zhao, and Mr. Zhao was stunned when he saw him. He came to Mr. G's side, and Mr. Zhao said, long time no see, looking at your expression, you should still remember me, and you should still remember Su Xiao. Facing his greeting, Mr. G did not make a sound, but turned around and left. At the auction, Runan has been looking for Mr. G's shadow. Feier also learned from the service staff that Mr. G had left just now, and she quickly sent a message to Runan. At this time, Mr. Zhao took a necklace for 6 million, and Runan saw the message. I didn't care about attending any dinner party, so I came out to find Mr. G. Seeing him sitting alone on the sofa, Runan asked, don't you have something to tell me? At the moment when he saw Mr. Zhao, he felt that there was no need to say something to Runan, and he stood up and was about to leave, but Runan called him. Runan said, if you have any troubles, you can tell me, and the two of us will solve them together. Mr. G said, no need. He once again hurt Runan deeply. Runan said, I am waiting for you to find me every night, waiting for you to call or text me. Mr. G said, you don't have to wait any longer, just treat us as the two of us. It hasn't happened. This is obvious enough, right? Confession was rejected again, and Runan's heart was broken by him. She came to the venue in a disappointed mood, but she didn't expect everyone to look at her. Just when he was feeling inexplicable, Mr. Zhao actually gave Runan the necklace that was taken of 6 million yuan, and he had to put it on for her himself. Runan subconsciously stepped back and refused. Mr. Zhao said, if you don't accept it, everyone won't be able to accept it. As soon as he said this, even if Runan was reluctant in his heart, he could only accept it and pass the hurdle in front of him first. After the meeting, she immediately returned the necklace to Mr. Zhao, and Runan said, I don't like to owe family favors, so I can't accept your kindness. Mr. Zhao didn't force it anymore, feeling that the future was long, and he was not in a hurry at this time. Feier learned that she had rejected Mr. Zhao's overtures and was very disapproving. Feier said, is your brain flooded? People give you such a valuable gift on the occasion of so many people, even a fool can see what he means, right? Mr. Zhao is rich and handsome, the most important thing is that he also understands romance. What is going on in your head? Feier asked, aren't you still fantasizing about Mr. G? Runan said, actually, this has little to do with Mr. G, Runan just doesn't feel anything about Mr. Zhao. You see that he looks perfect, but I feel that he is very deep. On the contrary, Star was very happy when he learned that she had returned the necklace. Not only because he likes Runan, from the last contact, he can feel that Mr. Zhao's mind is not simple. And he soon couldn't take care of his sister Runan. They recruited an assistant Chen Qianxia, who stalked him all day long, like a dog's skin plaster. Wherever Star went, she followed her, and she couldn't shake it off. Besides, Mr. G left early at the charity dinner last night, and he didn't know what happened, but he still saw it on his assistant's mobile phone. The assistant said, I think he has liked Sister Runan for a long time. He really couldn't accept it, so he immediately came to the company to find Runan, and pulled her up without saying a word, regardless of whether Runan was working or not. Mr. G said, I want her to stay away from Mr. Zhao and try to have less contact with him. But Runan didn't listen to him, and Runan said, Yu Gong is my partner, and he is a talent in a private family. Runan said, and he has a successful career and is gentle and generous, so I should have more contact with him. Mr. G said, all in all, he is not as simple as you think. Runan said, you just drew a clear line with me yesterday, and today you came to interfere with my friendship, what do you mean? After saying that, he was about to leave, but was pulled by Mr. G. Mr. G asked, do you want to be with him? Runan replied, yes, I want to be with him. Now he was in a hurry, but there was no way at all, and he couldn't watch Runan enter the tiger's mouth. Since Runan didn't listen to him, then he came to the company to find Mr. Zhao, and Mr. G said, I don't care what purpose you are in approaching Runan, but please stay away from her. Mr. Zhao asked, is she important? Mr. G replied, yes, she is very important to me. Mr. Zhao said, what is Su Xiao? Mr. G said, Su Xiao's matter has nothing to do with Runan, please don't approach her again. Mr. Zhao said, you care about Dugu Runan. Mr. Zhao said, but the more you care about her, the more interested I am in her. Zhao is always Su Xiao's brother, and his sister's departure hit him hard. He has been resenting Mr. G for so many years, feeling that he is not worthy of falling in love with anyone except Su Xiao. So he returned to China this time. The purpose is to attack Mr. G. In the evening, he came to Runan again in the name of work. When Star found out, he quickly called Mr. G, and Star said, "It's that Zhao Yuqing, who bothers Sister Runan every day in the name of work, and I'm worried that she will be deceived. Although you are both my rivals," Star said, "I think you really care about Sister Runan." Just now, Zhao Yuqing asked her to dinner again. Mr. G asked, "Eat. Where is it?" Star said, then he personally sent Runan downstairs and asked Runan to be his girlfriend. But Runan just regarded him as a work partner. Mr. Zhao was not in a hurry. Mr. Zhao said, "In the future, we will have time, and when we fully understand, whether you accept or reject it, I will respect you." "Okay, I'll go up first, good night." Runan said, "Good night." When he turned to leave, he saw Mr. G. Mr. G asked, "How long have you been entangled with Runan?" Mr. Zhao said, "I just want to torture you so that you will never forget Su Xiao for the rest of your life." Mr. G said, "I'm sorry for Su Xiao, but that's my business with Su Xiao, and it has nothing to do with you." Mr. Zhao said, "If you approach Runan for revenge, I will definitely not let you go." Mr. G said, "I will protect Runan." In these days of contact with Runan, Mr. Zhao was attracted by her character and had already fallen deeply in love with Runan. Mr. Zhao said, "You have failed Su Xiao, and now you are not qualified to love Runan." Mr. G said, "But that's my business with Su Xiao, and you are not qualified to accuse." Mr. Zhao said, "Of course I am qualified, because Su Xiao is my sister." So many years, Mr. G always thought that Zhao was Su Xiao's new boyfriend, but he didn't expect him to be Su Xiao's brother. This made him feel even more sorry for Su Xiao, and he couldn't accept Runan even more. But at this time, Runan found him again. "There are some things I still want to tell him." Just now she learned from Feier that Mr. G's ex-girlfriend Su Xiao was dead. Feier said, "I believe that G always loves you, but he can't get out of the shadow of Su Xiao's death, and your love is destined to be fruitless." But Runan really likes Mr. G, so she wants to take a gamble and pull Mr. G out of the grief of the past. Feier didn't agree with her doing this. Feier said, "Don't compete with the dead, you will lose. How can a cute person say forget it?" So she found Mr. G, and Runan said, "I already know about you and Su Xiao. I know you have been punishing yourself, and you have a big wound in your heart. I am willing to accompany you until the wound heals slowly. Can you give us another chance?" But Mr. G himself, not sure when he would be able to let go, Mr. G said, "It's not worth your wait for me." Mr. G rejected her again. Runan said everything he wanted to say, but in the end he still didn't get a response from Mr. G, and now she really gave up. The next day she cheered up and went to work. Everyone in the company cast strange eyes. Runan thought to himself, "Why is everyone paying attention to me? Is my broken love being seen?" As a result, she arrived at the office and found that the desk was covered with flowers, all of which were specially flown from the Netherlands by Mr. Zhao. He plans to formally pursue Runan. "It's true that the people I love don't love me, and I don't love the people who love me." It was a very happy thing to be pursued, but Runan couldn't be happy. Mr. G was not much better. He was originally drawing design drawings, but unknowingly, it was painted as an image of Runan. In fact, he is more painful than Runan, and he wants to love but can't. A person came to the hot pot restaurant where Runan often ate and asked the boss for help. Mr. G said, "This girl is my friend, she loves spicy food, and she has stomach problems." Mr. G said, "Every time I eat spicy food, I feel uncomfortable, and when she comes back next time, you put less chili." The boss also said that he remembered everything. On Runan's side, Star's new album entered the third list, and the two were so excited that they were ready to celebrate. Just at this time, Mr. Zhao called again. He also came to the company to pick her up in person. The men sent home the woman he had just met, and when he saw her asleep in the car, he secretly kissed her. As everyone knows, Runan didn't fall asleep at all. He opened his eyes as soon as he turned his head, and then pretended to have just woken up. Quickly escaped from this embarrassing scene. When Fei Er found out, she asked her how she felt, and Runan said, "I want to slap him." Fei Er said she was too stupid. "Such a perfect diamond King Lao Wu is in front of you, are you indifferent? If you like you, you don't want to." Fei Er said, "If you don't like you, you will post it hard, isn't this asking for trouble?" But what Runan wants is a vigorous love, not a compromise. But there are some people you can't hide the more you want to. On the day of Star's concert, Mr. Zhao came to congratulate him and asked her to have dinner together. Star didn't want the two to be together, so he called Mr. G again, and Star said that Zhao Yuqing is here again, and he wants to invite Sister Runan to drink. Mr. G was nervous when he heard this, and said, "You wait for me for a while, I'll go." And Runan and they were waiting for the traffic light. Seeing the hot pot restaurant she frequented made her think of Mr. G again. Originally, Zhao always invited her to Western food, but she came to the hot pot restaurant again. When Runan went to check out halfway through, the boss said, "She can't eat spicy food anymore, otherwise your boyfriend will be worried." Runan said, "Boss, you remember wrong, I don't have a boyfriend." The boss told Runan what Mr. G said that day. Runan didn't know whether to be happy or sad. After going back, he drank glass after glass of red wine, and he couldn't control himself when he mentioned it. "I was not in the mood to eat, and I refused Mr. Zhao to send her home." Mr. G had been waiting downstairs at Runan's house, and Runan's sudden appearance startled him. Mr. G said, "I'm hallucinating, right? Why do you look so much like GMO? How much did you drink?" After getting out of the car, Mr. G wanted to send her home, but she said that someone wanted to take advantage of her. In the end, Mr. G carried her back. And Runan said what was in his heart with the strength of the wine, "You obviously like someone, but you have to pretend not to like it. I'm different from you." Runan said, "If you like it, and if you don't like it, you don't like it." Mr. G said, "You are drunk, go to bed quickly." Runan said, "I'm not drunk." It took a long time for Runan to fall asleep. Mr. G also helped her tidy up the room. When Runan woke up the next day, he looked at the clean and tidy room and thought that it must be Mr. G, who had a cleanliness habit. So he sent a text message asking him, "Did you come to my house last night?" This made Mr. G angry, and he forgot what happened last night. Mr. G thought to himself, "This woman is really not worry-free." What made him even more worried was still behind. As long as Mr. Zhao invited Runan to dinner, Star will notify him as soon as possible, because he knows that he can't stop it, and Mr. G will definitely do it. He was discovered by Runan as soon as he arrived, and when Runan asked him why he was here, he could only make up a lie, "Come here to eat." Runan didn't believe that there was such a coincidence, so he asked him to change families. Runan said, "Don't disturb my date." Mr. G said, "Are you dating with Zhao Yuqing?" Runan said, "Yes." Mr. G said, "How do you know that I am eating with Zhao Yuqing?" Jealous, he suddenly leaked his mouth. Now that Runan knew his intentions, there was no need to pretend anymore, and don't let him in if he said anything. When the two were arguing at the door, Mr. Zhao, who was out on the phone, came over. This time, Mr. G couldn't leave, and he couldn't let Runan get along with him alone. At the dinner table, Runan and Mr. Zhao deliberately said a word to me, acting very familiar, and calling Mr. Zhao Lao Zhao. Runan shouted, "Lao Zhao." Mr. G asked, "When did you become so familiar?" Runan replied, "When you don't know." The jealous Mr. G got drunk, and when he got home, he kept calling Runan's name, and finally fell asleep on the sofa. After sleeping until midnight, he suddenly woke up. He still couldn't let Runan and Mr. Zhao get along alone. So he came to Runan again in the middle of the night, and sure enough, he saw the two together. Seeing him appear, Mr. Zhao, who was about to leave, wanted to send Runan upstairs, but was stopped by Mr. G. Mr. G said, "You are not allowed to take men home at night, not during the day, if there is something to say in the company." He also pushed Runan upstairs. Then asked Mr. Zhao how long he would pester Runan. Mr. Zhao said, "I am pursuing Runan now, and Runan agrees to try to develop with me." Originally, Mr. G planned to hide his love for Runan in his heart, but the appearance of Mr. Zhao made him change his mind. If this continues, Runan will definitely leave him and turn to Mr. Zhao's arms. Just the next day, Runan came to him because of Fayer and asked him not to terminate the contract with Fayer. Mr. G also promised her that he would do his best to keep Fayer's endorsement. With his words, Runan was relieved and didn't want to disturb him anymore. But Mr. G stopped her and asked, "How far have you and Zhao Yuqing developed?" Runan said, "Are you still jealous?" With a guilty conscience, he quickly turned around. Runan told him, "There is a way to make you jealous openly." Mr. G asked, "What?" Runan said, "Be my man." The woman suddenly pushed the president down on the table. Her sudden approach, and the nervous Mr. G didn't know where to put his feet. Runan said, "You look so cute when you are jealous." For fear that Runen would see through his thoughts, he quickly got up. Mr. G said, I'm not much better than that Zhao Yuqing. I'm more confident than him, I'm so confident. Runen didn't believe his words, and it could be seen from his reaction that Mr. G was jealous. Sure enough, early the next morning, Mr. G came to the door and confessed to Runen in 5 minutes. Mr. G said, I know I was a bastard before and had too many concerns, but please give me a chance to prove my feelings for you. I don't want to miss it anymore. He suddenly became so unusual that he had blindfolded Runen, and he didn't realize what was going on, so Mr. G hurriedly went to work. Soon Runen found Mr. Zhao, and Runen said, Thank you for your support of my work for so many days, but except for work, it is better for us to keep our distance. Don't waste time on me. Mr. Zhao said, As long as you are not officially with Mr. G, I will not give up. Anyway, Runen said everything he should say. Fei Er found her again, and she has always stood on Mr. Zhao's side, but today she has been praising Mr. G for being good, thinking that he is suitable for Ruonan. Fei Er said, It depends on whether a man is careful with a woman. Fei Er said, It depends on whether he is good to the people around this woman. A few days ago, Fei Er's plastic surgery was revealed, and she was so frustrated that she didn't dare to go out. It was Mr. G who encouraged her to open a live broadcast to face herself and her fans. That's why she came out of it so quickly. Such a good man, you must hold on to it. Runen thought to himself, Who should I choose? Who should I choose? The next second, Runen came to Mr. G, and the two hugged each other tightly, which immediately attracted onlookers from female colleagues in the company. Mr. G said, Everyone is watching, let them watch, I am the boss. Mr. G said, I like to hold the woman I like. This moment is really happy. And Mr. G also decided to tell Runen about his relationship with Mr. Zhao. But at this time, Mr. Zhao called, and he also had something to tell Runen. Runen also planned to tell him about the relationship between the two, so that Mr. Zhao would give up completely. But halfway through her words, she was interrupted by Mr. Zhao. Mr. Zhao said, Su Xiao is my sister, that is, Mr. G's ex-girlfriend. Runen asked, So you have known GMO for a long time? Mr. Zhao replied, Yes. Runen said, So you approached me on purpose? Mr. Zhao said, It was indeed because of GMO that I first contacted you. Mr. Zhao said, But then from contact with you, I really liked you. At this moment, Runen didn't care about this. What she cared about most was that Mr. G and Mr. Zhao joined forces to deceive her. She couldn't listen to any explanation, and the troubles in her heart could only be told to Fei Er. Runen said, One motive is impure, the other knows and does not report. What I hate most in this life is deception. Mr. G, who didn't know that trouble was coming, was still immersed in love and couldn't extricate himself, and his face was cramping with laughter. The assistant was curious about what was so happy, and Mr. G said, I may be in love, in love. The next second he received a call from Fei Er, who said, Runen's relationship with Zhao Yuqing is already known. I have never seen her so angry, you hurry up and kneel on the washboard. Mr. G said, Love comes and goes quickly, I haven't fallen in love yet, I may have to fall out of love first. He wanted to come to Runen to explain, but he didn't expect Mr. Zhao to be there. The two quarreled downstairs. Hearing the movement, Runen went downstairs, and Runen said, You two go back quickly so as not to disturb the neighbors. I don't want you to, and I'm not uncommon. And let the two of them leave quickly. Now Mr. G was worried, and finally opened his heart to prepare to have a vigorous love with Runen, who would have thought that something would go wrong halfway. How can I get Runen's forgiveness? After discussing with Ellie, it was decided to adopt the stalking model, and only by moving back could the problem be solved. But now that Runen is angry, how could he agree to move over? The two thought about it for a long time and finally had an idea. Mr. G said, Sleepwalking, okay. So he immediately sent a message to Fei Er. Fei Er hurriedly made room for the two of them. Soon he appeared in the corridor of Runen's house in his pajamas and with a suitcase. Before ringing the doorbell, he cheered himself up. When everything was ready, he rang the doorbell of Runen's house. Runen said, Do you still have the face? When Runen closed the door, he hurried in. Runen didn't squeak no matter how much he called him, and pretended to be decent. Runen stopped him in front, saw that his eyes were dull and there was no reaction. He slapped him in the face, twisted his ears, and finally simply slapped him. Runen said, Could it be sleepwalking? The older leftover girl came to the class reunion, and everyone knew that she didn't have a boyfriend, so they all sent care. The classmate said, "At your age, you don't have a boyfriend yet." Then he said that it was useless for women to make so much money, and in the end they had to find a good home. Although Ronan said he didn't like to listen, he could only force a smile. At this time, Mr. G called. She was just free to answer the phone, and someone was talking about her behind her. "What's the use of making so much money? It's not an old aunt that no one wants, and it's enough for a woman to be like her. So old. She has such a strong personality, who blindly liked her." This is a nice word. This is called a strong woman, to put it badly. Isn't that the old aunt that no one wants? I didn't expect Ronan to be inside, and I could hear their conversation clearly. After entering the private room, she ordered 2 bottles of the most expensive wine, and Ronan said, "I am very grateful to all my old classmates for still having time to worry about my marriage, whether it is in person or behind my back. I gladly accept it." The 2 women were embarrassed. Just at this time, Mr. G came over and said, "Sorry everyone, I forgot to introduce myself, I am Ronan's boyfriend." Everyone was dumbfounded. In order to embarrass them, the woman asked Mr. G where he worked, what his monthly salary was, and whether he had a house. Mr. G replied, "I work in e-fashion, the salary is not high, and I don't have a house." Now they were energetic and asked him which department he was in. Mr. G replied, "President's office." The woman said, "Oh, be an assistant." Mr. G said, "Oh, be the president." As soon as these words came out, everyone who watched the joke shut up. Mr. G said, "Thank you for caring about Ronan's marriage. I am also very sad and have been proposing to her." Mr. G said, "She didn't promise me. If she agreed to my proposal when the time came, she would send you an invitation." The 2 women who laughed at him just now also shut up instantly, watching Ronan and the 2 of them leave. After going back, Ronan kept thinking about Mr. G's words just now. She warned herself over and over again that she couldn't forgive him easily. Yesterday he came to Ronan in pajamas disguised as sleepwalking, and Ronan couldn't stop him, patted his face, grabbed his ears, and finally slapped him. He still didn't react at all. Ronan said, "Could it be sleepwalking?" In order to make sure he was really sleepwalking, he pulled a tuft of his hair hard. Even so, Mr. G still endured it, and what is the price to pay for the girl he likes? Seeing that Ronan still didn't give up, afraid that Ronan would do something radical later, he quickly avoided her, walked to the bedroom, and went directly to bed with his head covered and went to sleep. Mr. G thought to himself, "I'll clean you up tomorrow." After Ronan left, he felt his face and head hurt, but it was worth it to stay. The next day, he was pulling the box and was about to clean up the room when Ronan suddenly appeared. Mr. G said, "Wake up." Shout. I didn't expect Ronan to go to work yet. He asked Ronan, "I can't control sleepwalking, since I'm here, let me stay." Ronan said, "If you are sick, go to the doctor." Ronan said, "If you are sick, you have to be treated." Mr. G actually played a scoundrel, sat on the box, and said, "I won't leave yet." Ronan also had no way to deal with him, and she still had work to do. Ronan said, "If you are still there when I get off work at night, I will call the police." Mr. G was also very busy, and the company was suppressed by Mr. Zhao. Customers were snatched away by him. Mr. G decided to recruit new designers and inject fresh blood into the company to attract customers. Among many designers, he fell in love with a work designed by Samantha, which represents the Phoenix Nirvana and means rebirth. He could feel that this person's life must have been devastated, and rebuilding his life through design just fused with their company's philosophy. So he sent him an email personally, and the other party agreed. As everyone knows, this decision, it will cause him big trouble. The work matter was solved, and when he went home in the evening, he made another sumptuous dinner to show favor to Ronan, and said that he could cook for Ronan every day, so that she could eat a delicious meal every day after work. Ronan was almost moved by him, but reason told her that she couldn't forgive him so easily, and asked him to move away quickly. Mr. G didn't give up, and put bath water for Ronan in advance, which still had a lot of rose petals, and a cup of hot milk before resting. Mr. G said, "My roommate is not bad, right? He can cook, wash, take care of the house, have hot milk to drink, and can put bath water. Why don't you think about it? Don't let me move out." Ronan's last line of defense was still broken by him, and he agreed to let him live temporarily, but the rent had to be paid. "I also have to be responsible for 3 meals a day. As long as he can live in, these are not a problem for Mr. G." But he was a little happy. After arriving at the company, Ronan's mobile phone couldn't get through, and the assistant asked him to call the company to try, but he was told that she and Mr. Zhao were on a business trip to Nanjing. The assistant said, he and Zhao Yuqing went on a business trip to Nanjing. Now Mr. G is in a hurry, he seems too stingy to go, and he is afraid that the two will have further development if he doesn't go, and it is really difficult to choose. After thinking about it for most of the day, he made a decision: book me the nearest high-speed train. When the president heard that the girl he liked was on a business trip with his rival, he immediately left behind a project worth hundreds of millions of dollars and drove there in the middle of the night. Just halfway through, the car broke down, so he called his assistant to deal with it. The assistant asked, "What about you?" Mr. G said, "I can't wait, I want to see Runan now." And he actually braved the heavy rain to find Runan's hotel. Runan was surprised when he saw him. Mr. G asked, "Why didn't you tell me when you and Zhao Yuqing were on a business trip? The mobile phone doesn't work either. Why do you have to stay here for one night after a business trip?" A series of questions, Runan didn't know where to answer. Mr. G said, "Let her tidy up quickly to avoid catching a cold." Runan said, "Mr. Zhao and I are on a business trip for work, what are you thinking in your mind?" He was not afraid of losing Runan, but he would never let go of her hand. Runan asked him to open a room next door, take a hot shower quickly, and don't catch a cold. But he lay down on the sofa and said, "This suits me very well." Finally, Runan was blasted out of the room. Before leaving the room, he asked, "Do you choose me or Zhao Yuqing?" Runan said, "Is my market so bad? Only you and Zhao Yuqing can choose. The old lady's market is too good." Runan said, "Many people like me." After saying that, he slammed the door shut. At dawn, she found Mr. Zhao. Mr. G said, "You are such a despicable person, when you see me moving back to live, you immediately find an excuse to bring Runan back to you." Anyway, no matter what he said, Zhao would never let Runan be with him. The two quarreled again in the hall, and when they saw Runan appearing, they rushed to send Runan home. Runan said, "I will leave myself. I won't give anyone face." After going back, Mr. G launched a fierce pursuit of her, beating her back and massaging. He also invited Runan to spend 520 together. This time, to his surprise, Runan readily agreed. Star also asked for leave on this day, preparing to go to the movies with Runan on the day of 520. When Qiansha heard this, she snatched the movie ticket and said, "They already have Mr. Zhao and Mr. G, how can they have time to watch a movie with you?" Star said, "That was before, but now it's different. I heard that my sister dumped the two of them, and after waiting for so long, I was finally able to appear." The next second he appeared at Runan's house, and before he could take out the movie ticket, Mr. G came. Only then did he know that the two had lived together again, and it seemed that the opportunity he had been waiting for was gone, so he could only leave in despair. Runan asked, "What's wrong with this child's nose?" Mr. G said, "I have a cold." The two also confirmed their relationship on the day of 520, which was really a memorable day. Runan also told Star about the relationship between the two at the first time, and now he really gave up. At the same time, Mr. G also told Mr. Zhao about the relationship between the two. Mr. Zhao felt more and more that he was sorry for Su Xiao, and Mr. Zhao said, "And I dare to conclude that the relationship between you and Runan will definitely give up halfway. Don't blame me for not reminding you, take a few more looks while you still have Runan, maybe she will no longer belong to you soon." Mr. G didn't take his words to heart, but dreamed of Su Xiao at night. He also said his final goodbye to her, and Su Xiao also encouraged him in his dream to let go of the past and love boldly. "When I woke up, I felt much more relaxed. When I arrived at the company, I also received an email from designer Samantha, 'Don't come safely, I'm back to China.' With a new designer joining, the company should improve." In the midst of busyness, I didn't forget to call Runan to enhance the relationship between the two. But after get off work, I actually saw Su Xiao at the bus stop. He thought about it and happened to come over a car. "Look at Su Xiao's shadow again." He immediately told Ellie about it. Mr. G said, "Su Xiao is obviously dead." Ellie said, "You must be hallucinating, which proves that your illness has not been cured. It may be that after you fell in love with Runan, you still haven't forgotten what happened to Su Xiao back then." Mr. G said, "I don't want to hurt Runan because of the past, and the two of us are already in love, so I must maintain a complete and healthy heart to love her. Prescribe me medicine." Unexpectedly, I was in a hurry the next morning and forgot to put the medicine away. It was also discovered by Runan. She immediately took a photo and sent it to Phil. "Help me ask Ellie, what kind of medicine is this?" Of course, Ellie couldn't tell the truth after seeing it. Phil asked, "What medicine?" Ellie said, "This is a tonic." Phil asked, "Where is the supplement?" Ellie said, "Supplement is a very important place." Ellie said, "It's an important place." Faye thought to herself, the brain should be considered a very important place. But his words were misunderstood by Faye. Where else can couples in love make up for it? He immediately called Runan. "It's the kind of tonic that strengthens the body." Runan couldn't help but snicker in his heart when he found out. As everyone knows, trouble is coming to her. Mr. G had just arrived at the company and saw Su Zhao's shadow upstairs. He thought it was just an illusion and didn't take it too seriously. Unexpectedly, after taking the medicine, the symptoms not only did not decrease, but worsened. At this time, the assistant came over to tell him. The assistant said, "The new designer has arrived, and now the office is waiting for you." Mr. G said, "Samantha, I'm sorry for keeping you waiting." The moment the designer turned around, Mr. G was shocked and couldn't believe his eyes. The designer said, "Long time no see." Mr. G asked, "Who are you?" The designer said, "I am Su Xiao." Mr. G said, "How is that possible? Su Xiao died 3 years ago, and it is impossible for him to appear in front of me again." Su Xiao said, "I left 3 years ago because I was afraid that you would be hurt." No matter what he said, Mr. G didn't believe it, and he couldn't accept it and ran away. Until now, he hasn't come out of the situation just now. Despondent, he walked down the street and was almost hit by a car, but fortunately, Su Xiao appeared in time to grab him, which avoided the danger. Su Xiao apologized to him. "I shouldn't have left 3 years ago." Su Xiao said, "I shouldn't leave you alone and let you suffer alone. I was wrong. Please don't do this, okay?" After saying that, he hugged Mr. G's neck all of a sudden. Mr. G was glad that she was still alive, but now that he already had Runan in his heart, it was impossible for the two of them to go back to the way they used to be. After that, he angrily found Mr. Zhao, and Mr. G asked, "Su Xiao is still alive, why are you hiding it from me? Watching me in pain, are you very happy?" Mr. Zhao said, "Do you hope he is really dead? What is your pain compared to him? His success rate in going abroad for surgery is very low." Mr. Zhao said, "But he can't see you uncomfortable or see your pain, so he begged me to tell you that he was dead. He didn't do this for you. Now that he is back, you can only choose between Su Xiao and Runan. You have already hurt Su Xiao once." Mr. Zhao said, "If you dare to hurt her again, I will settle the old accounts with you." Mr. G was not afraid of his threat and immediately found Su Xiao, and Mr. G said, "In the days you left, I have completely let go, and I already have a girlfriend, and I hope you can let go." But the purpose of her return to China this time is to start over with Mr. G. How can she say that she will let go? Mr. Zhao also launched a fierce pursuit of Runan, and while visiting the class, he also brought working meals to the crew. Runan reminded him again. Runan said, "I am already with Mr. G, and if you do these things, others will misunderstand, especially GMO." Mr. Zhao said, "Care so much about GMO? Even if one day he may hurt you." Runan heard something in his words and asked him what he meant, but he only opened his head and didn't go down. Star couldn't get used to him like this, and shouted to Mr. Zhao who was leaving, and Star asked, "Why do you know that Sister Rua has a boyfriend, but you still pester her?" Mr. Zhao asked, "Then why do you surround her every day?" One sentence asked Star had nothing to say. "I originally wanted to stand up for Sister Runan. Only then did I realize that I was not an opponent at all." After that, Mr. Zhao found his sister Su Xiao. Although she was sad to hear Mr. G say that she had a girlfriend, she could still feel that Mr. G still had her in his heart, so she would not give up and would definitely find a way to make Mr. G change his mind. What kind of girl can make Mr. G like? She decided to meet Runan for a while. "So I came to the parking lot early, and when I saw the intimacy between the two, I still felt sad. Until GMO drove away and Runan's car came out, she started the car, deliberately collided with Runan's car, because only in this way could there be a reason to talk to Runan. She quickly got out of the car to apologize, and Su Xiao said, "It's my responsibility, I'll compensate. But Runan still has work today and no time." It just so happened that she took this opportunity to ask for Runan's contact information. Su Xiao said, "Contact me when you are free." Then he said that I used to live in this community with my ex-boyfriend, and today I just wanted to come over and take a look. Su Xiao asked, I didn't delay you to meet, did I?" Runan said, "No." The goal was achieved, and she hurried to work at E-Fashion. When talking about design concepts, Mr. G pulled her out of the office and said that he did not agree with her joining the company. Mr. G said, "Since you chose to leave in the first place, why did you come back?" Su Xiao said, "Don't you know why I came back?" Mr. G said, "It's been 3 years, you and I have changed, I have let go of the past, it's time to look forward. In short, I don't agree with Su Xiao's joining." After Mr. Xiao found out, he not only spent a high price to poach the designer of e-fashion, but also sent an entry draft, saying that his company had agreed to Samantha's joining. At first he thought it was Su Xiao who did. After asking, I realized that she was wrong. Now he really didn't know what to do. He was worried, but Ruanan sent a message asking him when he would be back, but he said, "Sorry, I've been busy lately, don't wait for me." Ellie felt that this was not the way. Ellie said, "I have to tell Runan." Mr. G disagreed. Runan is very insecure, afraid that he will think wildly. Besides, she has been betrayed before, and I can't let her be bothered. Ellie agreed with him. As everyone knows, his current behavior has aroused Runan's suspicions. Runan sent a screenshot of the chat between the two to Fei-er. Fei-er felt that Mr. G was too abnormal, even if he had to work overtime, he wouldn't work overtime all night. Fei-er said, "There is definitely something wrong with this GMO." Runan asked, "Do you think there is a problem too?" Runan wants to call now and ask clearly. Fei-er asked her to wait a few days to observe. Runan said, "How many more days will you have to wait? I can't make it through today." When the woman came back from 3 years abroad and saw that there were others around her ex-boyfriend, she suppressed the anger in her heart, and did not drive out until her ex-boyfriend left. Deliberately hit Runan's car, and then got out of the car to apologize. "It's my responsibility, I'll compensate. Let's go and assess the damage to the car now." But Runan still has a job. Su Xiao said, "Then, let's leave a contact information so that you can contact me when you have time." Just like that, under her plan, smoothly got a preliminary understanding of Runan. The next day, she met Runan again on the grounds of car repair, wanting to understand what kind of woman Runan was and would make Mr. G like her. First of all, it is said that it is similar to Runan's preferences. Su Xiao said, "I also have a bag exactly like you. I remember it was out of stock when I bought it at that time, but fortunately there were many goods. If there is only one, I don't know who will grab it." Runan said, "If there is only one, I will give it to you." Su Xiao said, "Really?" Runan said, "Really, it's not a boyfriend." Then he deliberately said, "I came back this time to chase my ex-boyfriend, but unfortunately he already has a girlfriend, but I won't give up, I will definitely chase him back." She also gave Runan a vaccination in advance, but Runan was still kept in the dark. Mr. Zhao was not idle, and poached the designer team of the G headquarters with a high salary, causing their company to face a crisis, and they proposed that Samantha could be hired, only in this way could the problem be solved. For the sake of the company, he had to ask Su Xiao to meet. Mr. G asked, "What are you brothers and sisters going to do?" Su Xiao didn't think he was wrong, and said, "My brother is just to fulfill my dream, and you have no other choice now." And Su Xiao also proposed to take 10% of the shares of e-fashion. Mr. G agreed without thinking. Mr. G said, "If it's just an exchange of interests, I'm relieved. This is also my compensation for you, but after that, we can't have any intersection except for work." Finally joined e-fashion, she was very sad when she should have been happy. Mr. Zhao thinks this is a good thing. Mr. Zhao asked, "Why are you so sad?" But in Su Zhao's view, Mr. G agreed to her employment, which means that he has let go of the relationship between them. Mr. Zhao didn't want to see her so sad, he had to do something for his sister, and immediately came to the company to find Runan, ostensibly to discuss work. In fact, he wanted to destroy the relationship between him and Mr. G. Before leaving with him, Runan called Mr. G, and Runan said, "I will have dinner with the sponsor for a while, and I will be home late today." Mr. G said, "I may also work overtime today." Runan said, "Then don't be too tired." But he just hung up the phone. I heard from the assistant that Su Xiao hadn't eaten all day in order to catch up with the design. He immediately found Su Xiao and wanted to take her to dinner, after all, she had just had a serious illness. Su Xiao was also full of expectations. But when he arrived at the door of the hotel, he realized that Mr. G was just sending her over. Su Xiao will not give up no matter what, and tells him about his days of chemotherapy abroad. "I am very lonely, and no one is with me." A few words aroused his sympathy. And Su Xiao immediately sent a message to Mr. Zhao, "Runan and GMO are eating at the restaurant they used to go to." In order to make Mr. Zhao give up, Runan kept saying in the car, "Mr. G and I are very happy, and he takes good care of me." Mr. Zhao said, "As far as I know, he should be quite busy now, there are so many people who need him to take care of him, can he take care of him?" Mr. Zhao said, "Take you to a special restaurant." Su Xiao was very happy here, because Mr. G agreed to eat with her. In order to get closer to him, Su Xiao kept talking about what happened before the two. But now he only has Runan in his heart, and he doesn't want to have too much involvement with her, so he stands up and leaves. But he was held by Su Xiao, Mr. G. Mr. G turned his head and saw that it was Mr. Zhao and Runan. He quickly shook off Su Xiao's hand, and Runan saw all this clearly. She hadn't said anything yet, so Mr. G spoke first. "This is the investor you are talking about." Runan asked, "Samantha, why are you here too? Do you know GMO?" Su Xiao said, "He is my boyfriend, didn't he tell you?" Then Su Xiao took out his business card. "I am now the design director of e-fashion." Runan didn't expect such a coincidence. He also immediately understood that the last crash was deliberately arranged by Su Xiao. Mr. Zhao asked, "How did you two meet?" Runan also told the last crash, and they all knew the reason. The scene was embarrassing for a while, and Mr. G thought about pulling Runan away. Runan disagreed, saying, "Since everyone knows each other, why don't you sit down and have a meal together?" The chopstick stolen had already reached in front of him. If she didn't do something, how could it be in line with her lonely Runan's character? So he deliberately appeared in front of them. "Let Mr. G feed her soup one bite at a time. The purpose is to let Su Xiao see, Mr. G is now my boyfriend, and no one should think about it anymore." After returning home, Mr. G explained to her, "The two of us are just superiors and subordinates, nothing else." But Runan's sixth sense told her, this woman is not that simple, and Mr. G may not have an idea for her, but that doesn't mean that woman doesn't. She asked Fei Er to discuss countermeasures. Fei Er thought that no matter how high Mr. G's determination was, he could not withstand the fierce pursuit of women, and the best way was to kill her thoughts in the cradle. Runan said, "I thought of a way." Fei Er asked, "Then what are you going to do?" Runan said, "I want to declare sovereignty." The next second she stopped Su Xiao's car in the same way. After getting out of the car, Runan did not drag his feet. "Don't touch things that are not yours, don't be delusional about people who don't belong to you." Su Xiao said, "That's right, I just like GMO." Runan said, "I have never seen a mistress as righteous as you." Su Xiao not only was not angry, but sneered, "Seeing that you are so nervous, obviously you are not confident enough. If he is yours, I can't take it away no matter how hard I grab it." Su Xiao said, "If he is mine, no matter how much you chase and intercept, he will come back to me." A few words left Runan speechless. Before she left, she also released harsh words, "I forgot to tell you, for GMO, I am bound to win." In this contest between the two, Runan was willing to bow down. "I was full of confidence before I went, thinking that the woman would have a guilty conscience, but she boldly admitted that she liked Mr. G, so that the lines she had prepared in advance were useless." Fei Er couldn't help but laugh out loud. "You are a well-known poisonous tongue in the circle. You will lose a quarrel." How could Runan's personality swallow this breath? After dealing with Mr. Lu's affairs, he immediately came to E-Fashion to find Mr. G, but when he saw the two interviewing together, his good mood suddenly disappeared. "I thought about going to have a meal together after the interview between the two." Unexpectedly, Mr. G actually pulled her in front of the reporter and made their relationship public. The purpose of his doing this was to make Su Xiao give up and stop entanglement. Sure enough, this trick still worked. After going back, she looked at Mr. G's portrait and burst into tears sadly, recalling the situation when Mr. G proposed to her with a diamond ring, but she didn't cherish it, and now it's too late to regret it. It's really sad and happy at the same time. Here the two of them enjoyed the night view of Shanghai together and told each other love words. After returning home, they also had a candlelit dinner together. At this time, he received a call from Mr. Zhao. "Su Xiao is gone." Runan asked him who was calling, and Mr. G said, "Su Xiao is gone, I want to go find her." Runan asked, "Why do you want to find her when Su Xiao is gone?" Soon he received a message from Su Xiao, "Come to the place where you proposed to me, and I will wait for you." He was afraid that Su Xiao would do something stupid, so he ignored Runan's obstruction, so he insisted on going to Su Xiao, and only left a sentence of "believe me," and came to the place where he proposed to Su Xiao. When Su Xiao saw him, he said, "If you can come, it means you still care about me." In fact, Mr. G came today to break up with Su Xiao, and Mr. G said, "We can't go back." He took out the diamond ring from his pocket and put it on the head of the carousel. They started here, so let's end here. After saying goodbye to Su Xiao, when he returned home, there was no shadow of Runan, and no one answered the phone. Only he sent a message, "I have something important to tell you, it's over." Runan was curious about what was important when he heard it. Feyre asked her to leave it alone, and she must be resolute, he will definitely send a message later. But Runan waited for most of the day and did not see him again. So he came to the company to find Mr. G, but was told that he hadn't come to the company for a day today. Runan asked, "Where is Mr. G?" The assistant said, "Just came back." Hearing that he was there, Runan was relieved. As everyone knows, the conversation between the two was clearly heard by Su Xiao, and he immediately followed Runan to the bathroom and deliberately put the ring on the sink for Runan to see. Su Xiao said, "This ring was given to me by my ex-boyfriend when he proposed to me." Runan said, "Impossible, is it the same style?" Runan said, "Then it shouldn't be, right?" Su Xiao said, "This one is specially customized by him, the whole world, just this one." Runan not only became suspicious, but also asked, "Then what is the name of your ex-boyfriend?" Su Xiao replied, "GMO. I forgot to tell you, my Chinese name is Su Xiao." At this moment, Runan understood. It turned out that Su Xiao was not dead, and he had been trying to get close to her. Seeing that Runan was stunned, she continued to output, "But I want to tell you I'm sorry, I'm not just coming back for work this time, the most important thing is that I want to get GMO back." Su Xiao said, "I want to get our relationship back for many years." Runan asked, "Does GMO know your purpose?" Su Xiao said, "Does the ex-girlfriend come back to her side, is there a second purpose?" But Runan thought, if GMO knows your purpose, he will never let you stay. Su Xiao said, "Yes, he rejected me." Su Xiao said, "But aren't I still here? E-Fashion needs me, and GMO needs me even more." Before leaving, she also provoked, "I thought my opponent would be a little stronger, but now it seems that it is just like that." Runan was stupid. It turned out that Mr. G knew all this, but he kept it a secret from himself. Mr. G, who didn't know that trouble was coming, was still pulling his friend Ellie to pick a diamond ring with him. He thought that the matter with Su Xiao had been resolved and it was time to propose to Runan. He wanted to use this unique diamond ring to trap Runan firmly. "Can't wait to call Runan, do you remember the rooftop we first met? I'm waiting for you there, I have something important to tell you." Runan said, "It just so happens that I also have something important to ask you." Seeing Runan coming, he was very excited. Mr. G said, "We met here, so I want to start our next journey here." He didn't notice Runan's expression at all. At this moment, Runan couldn't bear it anymore. "Su Xiao is still alive, why didn't you tell me? And you knew we knew each other." Runan said, "You see that you treat me like a fool and deceive me with her." Mr. G said, he doesn't want Runan to get involved and be hurt. But in Runan's view, a lie is a lie, she said, "You can't even be the most basic honest." Mr. G said, "I have already rejected her." Runan asked, "Then why is the ring still in her hand?" Runan felt that the two needed some time to calm down with each other. Deceived by his beloved, Runan still couldn't calm down for a while, leaving him alone to look at the ring that had not been given away. He returned home listlessly, and the unaware Phil and Ellie still celebrated him, but seeing his decadent appearance, he knew that his proposal had failed. Runan went to the hot pot restaurant he frequented again and ordered the spiciest pot base. The boss reminded her, "The gentleman told me not to eat spicy food before." Runan said, "My business has nothing to do with him anymore, please help me replace it." Because only by eating the hottest hot pot, others can't see her sadness. In order to calm each other down, Runan's family didn't go back, so he had to live in the company temporarily, and told Star that he hadn't finished any work and might have to stay up all night. Although Star doesn't look smart on the surface, he is not stupid either, and he can see at a glance that his young sister has something on her mind, and she must be bullied. The next second he came to Mr. G, and Star asked, "Did you two quarrel?" Mr. G said, "I made a wrong decision and hurt her." Mr. G said, "But I want to make up for my mistakes now, but I can't find where she is." Star said, "She is in the company now, you go quickly." As soon as he heard that Runan was in the company, Mr. G said, "Thank you," and ran to the company to find Runan, hoping to see her sooner. Hugged Runan in his arms. Mr. G said, "I didn't sleep all night last night and have been waiting for you to come home. I'm afraid of losing you, please don't leave me and give me another chance." After all, Runan also really liked him, she said, "As long as you finish dealing with Su Xiao, I can give you another chance. Mr. G said, I believe I will not let you down. He immediately held a shareholders' meeting to remove Samantha from her position as director. The shareholders disagreed, because only she could solve the crisis the company is now facing. Mr. G really had no choice but to give Runan an explanation. Mr. G took the initiative to resign as the president of E-Fashion, and the assistant couldn't persuade him no matter how much he tried to persuade him. Su Xiao stopped him from leaving, and Su Xiao said, I want to talk to you alone. Unexpectedly, he didn't even want the career he had built for Runan, which was not the result Su Xiao wanted. Su Xiao said, GMO, you must be so heartless. Mr. G said, it's not heartless, it's that you are too aggressive. Su Xiao said, I am ashamed of you, but you shouldn't involve Runan. Mr. G said, if you do this, it will only make me disgusted with you. I won't let anyone hurt Runan, including you, of course. Mr. G said, I founded this company for you, and now I will return it to you. We will not contact you again from now on. Looking at Mr. G's distant back, Su Xiaocai felt that he had done too much. The assistant quickly found Runan. The assistant said, in order to draw a clear line with Su Xiao, Mr. G took the initiative to resign and asked Runan to persuade him to come back. Runan hurried home and said, I asked you to solve Su Xiao's matter, but I didn't let you resign. Mr. G said, but only in this way can I return to you openly. Runan is not a selfish person, and he doesn't want him to give up his career for so many years because of himself. Mr. G said, you can find a job again, but if you lose it, you will never be able to find it again. Runan was successfully persuaded by him, and the two returned to the past. Mr. G has completely become a housewife, cooking for Runan every day, and he is very happy. Runan saw that he was idle at home and invited him to participate in Star's new film launch, and he agreed. Mr. G said, from now on, every minute of my life will be yours, and you can send it. Without Su Xiao's obstruction, Runan can be happy now. But this moment didn't last long. The next day at work, Su Xiao looked at the empty office, and the more he thought about it, the more uncomfortable he became. Unexpectedly, her pressing step by step made Mr. G farther and farther away from her. The pain in my heart can only be told to my brother Mr. Zhao. Su Xiao said, I returned to China for GMO, but he hates me so much now that it is difficult to even see him. Should I quit? Mr. Zhao didn't want to see her in such pain, so he advised her, blindly escaping is not a solution, you still have to persevere. Mr. Zhao said, otherwise, everything you paid before has no meaning. Su Xiao said, it's useless, he doesn't want to see me. Mr. Zhao took out an invitation to her, you will see him soon. Sure enough, on the day of the press conference, Mr. G and Runan attended hand in hand, which was their first official appearance. Reporters took pictures one after another. Before they could go in, Mr. Zhao and his sister Su Xiao appeared. Now the four of them met again. Mr. G held Runan's hand tightly and put it on his chest, just to let Su Xiao see it. Mr. G said, the relationship between the two of us is not broken up just because you say it is broken. Mr. Zhao said, hold your hand so tightly, are you afraid that you won't be able to hold it? Mr. G said, it's almost time, let's enter. Mr. G ignored him and hugged Runan and entered the venue step by step. Today is the launch of Star's new drama, and he is under the leadership of Runan during this time. He also slowly transformed from a newcomer who knew nothing to a qualified artist, and gained a lot of fans. After working for so long, it finally paid off. Mr. G said, if it weren't for your dedication, he wouldn't be able to stand there today. The intimate dialogue and actions of the two. After Su Xiao saw it, his heart hurt like a needle prick, and Mr. Zhao saw his painful expression in his eyes. Just when Runan went up for an interview, Mr. G received a message from Su Xiao, I'm waiting for you on the observation deck of the hotel, if you don't show up, there will be a record next. I'll always wait for you. He looked up, Runan was still answering reporters' questions, and at this time, he hurriedly came to the observation deck to find Su Xiao. Mr. G said, I came here this time mainly to tell you that we don't want to meet in private anymore. So Su Xiao sympathized with his illness. Su Xiao said, I am no longer the Su Xiao I used to be, and now I am not only missing a piece of my body, but also a piece of my heart. I used to think that I would die, and it was you who gave me the courage to live. Her trick was indeed used well, and Mr. G's attitude immediately eased. He also put on his own clothes for her, and Mr. G said, I hope you don't do this, you will come out slowly. Su Xiao suddenly lay on his shoulder, I can't do it, I can't walk out alone. After the interview here, Mr. G's shadow disappeared. It's time for Mr. Zhao to appear. Mr. Zhao said, are you looking for GMO? He was with Su Xiao, on the observation deck upstairs. Runan said, impossible. Mr. Zhao said, emotional matters, nothing is impossible. Runan came to the observation deck with a dubious attitude, and sure enough, he saw Mr. G here, and they were still hugging each other. She was very disappointed. Yesterday Mr. G also said that he wanted to keep his distance from Su Xiao, and today he made such a show. Runan was very sad and came to her good girlfriend Feier to complain again. Feier knew at a glance that it was an emotional matter again, and with her enlightenment, Runan calmed down. Runan said, I should have asked him directly just now, what is the reason why Mr. G broke his promise? Now the only thing Runan is waiting for Mr. G to come and explain to her earlier. But what she didn't know was that as soon as she left, Mr. G had already separated from Su Xiao and was ready to come to her. But Su Xiao fainted on the ground, and Mr. G was frightened when he saw it, because she was sick herself, and he was afraid that something would happen again because of the stimulation this time, so he hurriedly sent her to the hospital. I called Runan but couldn't get through. After thinking about it, I felt that this couldn't go on, so I thought about going back to Runan. But Su Xiao woke up but called him, and Su Xiao said, I have to let Mr. G stay with her here. Say nothing and don't let him leave. In this case, he can only choose to accompany Su Xiao, and only explain to Runan later. Runan, who was healing in Feier, returned home and saw Mr. G lying on the sofa. Runan asked, yesterday you left without saying goodbye at the press conference and disappeared for a whole night, where did you go? Mr. G said, Su Xiao, Runan said, it's Su Xiao again, this Su Xiao will always be stuck between the two of us. Runan said, she died before, and we finally came together, but now she is alive and can still affect your emotions. Maybe the two of you are more suitable, and I am the superfluous third party. Mr. G kept explaining that he and Su Xiao were over, but his behavior was unacceptable, and Runan said, since you can't make a decision between me and her, then I'll do it. The two of us are over. Mr. G said, I don't agree. Runan said, I beg you, don't torture me, okay? Can you let me go? Before closing, Runan asked him to move out of this home as soon as possible. Originally, the relationship was enough for him to be annoyed, but after arriving at the company, Tong Tong found him again. Now that his artist song Zihao has been suppressed, Star's popularity has skyrocketed, and this woman feels that Runan is behind this. Tong Tong, Runan said, I said you are a waste, you really can't hold up the wall in the mud. Didn't this woman hit the muzzle? Besides, is Runan a person with no bottom line? Was reprimanded by Runan and could only leave in despair. Soon she received a message from Mr. G again. Mr. G sent a message saying, I moved away today, and I want to see Runan before leaving. But where is Runan in the mood to see him? After packing his luggage, Mr. G put the ring that had not been given away next to Runan's photo, and then waited for Runan to come home. But he saw that it was almost midnight, and Runan hadn't come yet, so he sent her a message, don't make a mistake, go home and rest, I'm leaving. Runan immediately got up after seeing it. Mr. G hadn't left yet, she had already come to the garage. But she didn't get out of the car, but watched him silently in the car, until Mr. G drove away. She couldn't control herself and cried loudly in the car. She liked Mr. G so much, but Su Xiao's appearance broke the peaceful life of the two. Only there was nothing left in the bathroom, her belongings. She sat on Mr. G's bed in a daze, and she didn't want to break up, but as long as Su Xiao was still there, the conflict between her and Mr. G would happen again. Mr. G, who had nowhere to go, came to Ellie's house, and Ellie had no free time to comfort him. I'm busy going on a date with Feier. Mr. G also thought about letting Runan calm down during this time when he moved out, and then explaining to her. At this time, Su Xiao's cancer recurred, but fortunately, it was discovered in time, and radiotherapy could play a role. Doctor, but you must maintain an optimistic attitude. This season, Mr. G can't leave her, and he already owes her in his heart. However, Su Xiao had a request. Su Xiao said, don't tell Runan and Mr. Zhao about his symptoms, one is afraid that my brother will be sad, and the other is to keep the last dignity in front of Runan. Mr. G also agreed. When he came out of the hospital, he received a call from his assistant, something happened to the company, the new product suddenly had a problem, and the customers returned it, and he had to return to the company to deal with it. Get off work at night. He unknowingly came downstairs to Runan's house, and he really couldn't control his thoughts about her, so he called Runan. Although Runan came downstairs to meet him, he still reminded him, we don't need to meet. Mr. G said, but my heart really can't restrain myself from thinking about you. Runan said, your heart is really big. Runan said, I can pretend to be two women. Mr. G said, I really haven't betrayed you, I just want to pay off what I owe Su Xiao. In fact, Mr. G has one more thing today, that is, he has to stay with Su Xiao for a while recently, and there is a last resort. Runan asked, what reason? Mr. G said, I can't say, I promised her. Now Runan was really fed up, she said, since you have chosen to be with her, why do you still come to me? Now Runan no longer had any hope for him, and she was sad and sad all night. Fortunately, the response to Star's new drama was particularly good, and Runan finally had something happy. Unexpectedly, Star confessed to her at this time. Star said, I am a man, and I also have the person I want to love, and that person is you. Runan said, dispel this idea for me. In fact, Runan only regarded him as a younger brother from beginning to end. However, this scene was all filmed by the scheming Tong Tong, and it was immediately posted online. Mr. G quickly saw this report, he was worried about Runan, and calling her was also turned off. Was worried when Qiansha called. Qiansha said, Runan is gone. If she can't be found again, the boss will fire her. But Runan's personality, if there is a problem, he will face difficulties, how could he suddenly disappear? Qiansha told him about Star's confession to Runan. Mr. G immediately found Star. Mr. G complained to him, you shouldn't do this. She only treats you as a younger brother, but you have to pierce this layer of window paper. She can't accept your feelings and can't hurt you. Your confession can only become a heavy burden for her. But you will only hurt her. Star said, then aren't you hurting her? She was forced away by you. Then I am the only one in my heart from beginning to end, I can be single-minded and loyal, can you do it? Star's words poked him in the sore spot, and he was so angry that he had the urge to hit someone. Fortunately, Qiansha appeared, and Qiansha said, the most important thing for us now is to find Runan. Before leaving, he also warned Star, if you do anything willful and hurt Runan again, I will not let you go. Star was so frightened that he didn't dare to squeak. They found all the places Runan could go. Still didn't see her shadow. Qiansha thought that Runan should be in a quiet, familiar and safe place. Sure enough, she found Runan where the two watched the sunrise last time. Runan was about to leave when she saw him, because the last thing she wanted to see now was Mr. G. It was hard to get rid of him, but I didn't expect Star to come to add to the blockage. Now she just wants to be quiet. Mr. G said, where are you going? Do you have to come here? Prove that you still have me in your heart, right? Runan did not refute his words, because she did still love Mr. G in her heart. Su Xiao's condition here is getting worse and worse, and now he can only rely on drugs to suppress it. She didn't want her brother to know, so she quickly hid the medicine. But Mr. Zhao could see at a glance that her face was not very good, and Mr. Zhao asked, is GMO making you sad again? Ever since I knew that Su Xiao's illness was serious, Mr. G has been with her. But Su Xiao felt that although others were there, his heart was not there. Mr. Zhao thought to himself, it's okay to keep people first, and then keep people's hearts. But he soon saw the medicine Su Xiao was taking on the sofa, and immediately took her to the hospital for a review, only to learn that Su Xiao's condition had worsened. The doctor asked him to be hospitalized from now on. And he blamed all this on Mr. G's head. Mr. Zhao said, if it weren't for you, she wouldn't have lost control of her emotions, let alone relapse. If you hurt her again, I will never let you go. So he decided to join forces with Mr. Wang of E-Fashion to suppress Mr. G together. The factory they had cooperated with suddenly stopped, and the factory director couldn't be contacted, so Mr. G was so busy that he didn't even have time to come to the hospital to accompany Su Xiao. She came alone for psychological counseling, and was seen by Chen Feier, so she consulted the nurse. Only then did I learn that Su Xiao's cancer had returned. She immediately called Runan, and Feier said, I just saw Su Xiao in the hospital, and her breast cancer has returned. Runan said, are you mistaken? Feier said, I've inquired a lot, it's true. Only then did Runan know why he said it last season. I'm going to stay with Su Xiao for a while recently. She put down her work and found Mr. G, and Runan asked, Su Xiao's cancer has recurred, why didn't you tell me about this? Mr. G said, first of all, Su Xiao won't let me say, and then I don't want you to get involved and disturb your life. In Runan's view, Runan said, if there are problems between lovers, they must face them together, and I don't want you to carry any problems yourself. Mr. G asked, do you forgive me if you care about me so much? Runan replied, no. Now Mr. G can't take care of emotional matters, and he has to go to the countryside to find the factory director. Just halfway through, after receiving a call from the hospital, Su Xiao did not go to chemotherapy today, and her brother's phone could not be reached. As soon as Mr. G heard that the assistant was asked to turn around and go back, the assistant disagreed. If we don't go to the old factory director today, the group will have a big problem. Mr. G said, we can find someone to find Su Xiao first. Soon Runan received a call from Mr. G, and Mr. G said, there is something that must trouble you. Runan asked, is it about Su Xiao? Mr. G replied, yes, she didn't go to chemotherapy today. I have important things to deal with now, can you help me go? Runan replied, okay, you give me her home address, and I'll go find her. The generous young man came to Su Xiao's house according to the address given to her by Mr. G. But after pressing the doorbell, there was no movement inside. So she went in from the balcony, shouted for a long time but no one answered, and finally found her in the bedroom. After seeing that it was her, Su Xiao was very angry. Su Xiao said, let her get out immediately. Runan did not hold a grudge, but wanted to take her to the hospital. But Su Xiao thought she was here to see the joke. Su Xiao said, now that I'm dying of illness, I don't have the ability to grab GMO with you. Runan said, what you want to think about now is not GMO, but about your own body. Runan said, if you continue to be so negative, wouldn't it be to give up GMO to me? What you have to do now is to quickly recover from your illness, and let's have an open competition. If you are like this now, it will be dishonorable for me to win you. Su Xiao said, don't regret it. Runan said, I won't regret it. Su Xiao then agreed to go to the hospital with her. As soon as she came out of the hospital, she received a call from Qiansha, and she knew that the scandal with Star had reached the point of getting out of control. Runan immediately rushed back to the company, but was scolded by his boss, as an agent, you shouldn't make such a low-level mistake. The photo has been sent out, and everyone must give an explanation. She and Star must have someone leave the company. In order to protect Star, Runan agreed to resign, she said, but he will renew his contract with the company in the afternoon, and I will leave the company immediately after he signs the contract. But Star outside the door could hear all this clearly, so he did not agree to sign the contract, and he also wanted to terminate the brokerage relationship between the two, and he didn't want to be Runan's artist anymore. When Runan saw what kind of wind he was smoking, he called him outside, and Runan asked, do you know what the consequences of doing this are? Runan said, it will have a great impact on your future development. But these stars don't care, only Runan cares about them the most. Star said, anyway, the photo has been made public, so I will simply announce my feelings for you. Runan said, you're crazy. Runan pulled him to sign a contract, but Star threw him away. Star said, you can't do this today. I don't want to be your artist anymore, I want to be your man. After the two returned to the office, Star said, it's okay for me to sign a contract, but I have 3 conditions. First, I want to terminate my brokerage relationship with Dugu Runan and ask Qiansha to be my new agent. Star said, second, I want Runan to return to the position of agency director. But Tong Tong disagreed, what am I doing when she is the agency director? The boss wants to go back and think about it again. But Runan insisted on resigning, and when he left, in order to avoid a sad scene, he asked everyone not to see her off. Qiansha cried with tears. Although her resignation words were beautiful, after all, this is where she has worked for several years, and she is still reluctant to leave if she really wants to leave, and tears flowed down disobediently. Turning around, he saw Mr. G, he knew that Runan was going to resign. Put down the work in his hand to pick her up in person and leave the company with Runan. Feier was very angry when she found out, it was Star who violated the rules first, why is it you who left? She finally got to where she is today. Runan didn't want to affect his career. Later, Star came to Runan. Star said, Tong Tong has been fired by the boss, and Song Zihao told reporters about him framing us. Now that there is a vacancy for the director of the agency, you should come back. Runan rejected him without thinking about it, because she was afraid that her going back would affect Star. Star said, give me another chance. Star said, I will promise you whatever you say in the future, and I will never talk back to you again. I just want to stay by your side, just once. The more he said this, the more Runan couldn't go back. On Mr. G's side, because of Mr. Zhao's suppression behind his back, the company's stock has fallen to the limit. The keen Mr. G suddenly realized that someone was targeting them behind him. Mr. Zhao saw that the time was ripe and it was time to acquire e-fashion shares. After being idle, Runan came to the hospital to see Su Xiao again, and brought her favorite dish. Su Xiao didn't appreciate her at all. Su Xiao said, "And she has something to do now." Runan said, "Ji Mo's company has such a big problem, I have to help him." Su Xiao asked, "What happened?" Runan said, "Didn't GMO tell you?" Su Xiao said, "It seems that he cares too much about you." It was also at this moment that Su Xiao realized that no matter how hard she tried to win GMO, the person she cared about the most was Runan. Despite this, she still had to help Mr. G, because she clearly knew that all this was done by her brother, and he was a person who would never give up until he achieved his goal. Su Xiao said, "I'll go." The next second she found Mr. Zhao. Runan asked, "Did you cause the problems in Ji Mo's company?" Mr. Zhao also said bluntly, "I just want to target him, not only because of Su Xiao, but more importantly because of you. He hurt my two most important women, and I must make him pay the price." Runan asked, "How can you be willing to let go?" Mr. Zhao said, "If you are with me, I will stop." Runan said, "But it is impossible for a person like you to trade love as a transaction." But Mr. Zhao grabbed her who was about to leave, and forced Runan in broad daylight, and after being freed by Runan, he slapped him hard. This also angered Mr. Zhao, who said, "Remember, you must be mine." He also advised Runan to see the situation clearly. "GMO is about to end, as long as you promise to be with me, I will let him go." Runan is not afraid of his threats, and firmly believes that Mr. G will never lose to someone like her. Runan's attitude aroused his desire to defeat Mr. G even more. Runan also found Mr. G and cheered him on, and Runan said, "I believe you will be able to get through this crisis." With Runan by his side, Mr. G has motivation. In fact, he already has countermeasures, and has long prepared technical patents for design and fabrics, and with it, the stock price will soon turn around. Su Xiao is still worried about him, but Runan firmly believes that with Ji Mo's ability, he will not lose this time, and even if he loses this time, I will accompany him to make a comeback. After hearing her words, Su Xiao's view of her has also changed a lot. But she knew better than anyone what kind of person her brother was, so she found Mr. Zhao, and Su Xiao asked, "How can you let GMO go?" Mr. Zhao said, "Today is already the second person to ask him the same thing, and both of them are the women he cares about the most, but they both care about GMO." This aroused his desire to win even more. Although Su Xiao said, "When I left 3 years ago, GMO and I were already over." Su Xiao said, "I don't hate him now, I have forgiven him, please let him go." Mr. Zhao said, "I really don't hate him, but I hate him." But no matter what Su Xiao said, Mr. Zhao's decision will not change. Mr. Zhao said, "Either you choose me or choose him." Because he is not only upset about Su Xiao now, but more importantly, he wants Runan to see clearly who is a man worthy of entrusting him for a lifetime. He was so angry that he found Mr. G again, and Mr. Zhao said, "I will definitely leave you with nothing, and I want to prove to Runan that he chose you wrong." Mr. G also spoke. Mr. G said, "Whether it is a young man or a company, I will stick to it to the end." After leaving, Mr. Zhao began to buy shares of eFashion, and he wanted to become the largest shareholder of eFashion, because only in this way could President GMO be removed. Of course, Mr. G will not sit still. Visit around to do ideological work for shareholders. Even though he was so busy, he didn't forget to care about Runan and let her go back to work in the company so that he could untie Star's knot. Because he could see that in the days after his resignation, Runan didn't care on the surface, but he was actually unhappy in his heart. So the next day Runan went back to work in the company, still the director of the brokerage, and her colleagues welcomed her very much. Of course, the happiest person is Star, who wants to invite Runan to date him as an ordinary person for a day before officially joining the company because he wanted to put an end to his love. Runan thought of Mr. G's words last night, "The most difficult thing to cure in a relationship is heart disease, and you are his best doctor." Immediately agreed to Star's request. Just as he set off, he received a call from Mr. G, and Mr. G said, "I will have lunch with him later." But Runan said, "I want to date, I don't have time." Mr. G asked, "Dating? Who are you with?" Runan said, "I am still single, free to date, and my date is confidential. No one wants to disturb her date with Star today." The two rode a battery car and walked through the streets and alleys of the city. Seeing the scenery on the road, this has always been Star's wish, and now it has finally come true. Then the two went to the restaurant where Star worked before, and Runan sang a song for him, and Star's knot was finally over. The president called his girlfriend for dinner, but she told her that she was dating someone else. Mr. G asked, "Dating? Who are you with? Runan said, I am still single, with free dating rights and confidentiality. I can't eat now, and I don't know who my rival is, so how can he still be in the mood to work? After thinking about it, I decided to go to Runan. As a result, he was about to go out when Runan came. Mr. G asked, didn't you go on a date? What about that man? Runan said, there is no man, that person is Star. Don't you want me to heal him? So I went on a date with him to see if I could open his heart. Mr. G said, then you have gone to heal him, when will you come to heal me? I am also very tired from going to work every day. Moreover, tomorrow is the board of directors election, and Mr. Zhao has already done everything behind his back, and he is determined to win this election. There were 7 votes in favor of Mr. G continuing to serve as president. There were also 7 votes against him. But the company has a total of 15 directors, and Mr. Wang has not made a decision. Someone said, it's time for you to vote. Because he had always been on Mr. Zhao's side before, and it was also because of him that Mr. Zhao was confident that he would win this election. I didn't expect it to be at this critical moment. He suddenly turned against the water and voted for Mr. G. Mr. Wang said, I'm sorry Mr. Zhao. Mr. Zhao lost the election by only 1 vote, and was so angry that Mr. Zhao left the conference hall before the board of directors was over. Mr. G also told Runan the good news as soon as possible. Runan was so excited, as expected of the man I like Dugu Runan, no one can compare with his strength. Why did Mr. Wang rebel? He was puzzled. It wasn't until he checked the company surveillance that he realized that it was the assistant around him who did it. He was so angry that he immediately called his assistant. Mr. Zhao asked, how much benefit did G give you? The assistant said, it's not him. Mr. Zhao asked, who is that? The assistant said, it's Miss Su. It turned out that when Su Xiao went to find Mr. Zhao yesterday, he saw Mr. Wang coming out of the company and knew that his brother had bribed Mr. Wang. So she found her assistant Xiao Wu and asked him to secretly take the contract between Mr. Wang and Mr. Zhao, and then send it to Mr. G. Mr. G asked, this is a confidential document, who passed it on to you? The assistant said, no matter who sent this document, in short, I want Lao Wang to think that Zhao Yuqing sent it. So Mr. G seized this and successfully sowed discord between them. So President Wang chose to stand on Mr. G's side at a critical moment. Knowing that his sister Su Xiao did it, Mr. Zhao was really hard to accept. He tried his best to help her keep GMO, but what did she do behind her back? Mr. Zhao went to the hospital to find Su Xiao, and Mr. Zhao said, I know you have him in your heart. Mr. Zhao said, so I didn't force you to be on my side, but you shouldn't join forces with him to play with me. Su Xiao kept apologizing to him, I have let go, and it is over between us. Mr. Zhao said, you two can end, but it is not so easy for me and him to end. He shook off Su Xiao's hand, and Su Xiao hurriedly chased him out, but fainted to the ground because he was emotional. Now he was even more angry, and blamed all this on Mr. G's head. Mr. Zhao said, he would rather choose to betray my brother for you and send you the contract between me and Lao Wang. Mr. Zhao said, if Su Xiao has any accidents this time, I will definitely fight you desperately. But Runan told him, you never really understand what Su Xiao wants. She came back this time just to make up for her regrets, and there are many ways to solve the problem, not just hatred. Fortunately, Su Xiao was fine this time, but her condition deteriorated, and there was not much time left, so don't stimulate her anymore. Looking at his sister who woke up, Mr. Zhao also understood, they all blame me for going my own way, just thinking about helping you snatch GMO back. But it ignores your inner feelings and causes you to be emotionally hospitalized. After this incident, Mr. Zhao also let go and wanted to take Su Xiao out of here for treatment. But before leaving, Su Xiao had one thing to do, which was to beg Runan. Su Xiao asked, can I borrow GMO for a few hours? Runan turned his head to look at Mr. G and quickly agreed, and she was not a stingy person. The two came to a place full of memories, and Su Xiao told him, I am leaving soon and plan to go abroad for treatment. Su Xiao said, please forgive my brother's behavior, he did this for me. Mr. G said, he did this because I missed it. Su Xiao said, it's not you who missed it, it's me who missed it. Su Xiao was also very glad that Mr. G found a girlfriend like Runan. Su Xiao said, I was very annoyed when I thought you were with him before, but later I found out after contact that she was really a good girl. Now both of them untied their knots and said their final goodbyes here. He can finally love Runan wholeheartedly. On the way back, Runan still couldn't help but ask. Runan asked, then what did you and Su Xiao say? Mr. G said, he said he likes you very much. Runan said, it seems that his vision is still good. Mr. G said, your vision is also good. Runan said, don't put gold on your face. Then Mr. G said, from today onwards, you are not allowed to go out alone with other women. Mr. G also swore here, from today onwards. Mr. G said, I only cook for Dugu Runan alone, and you are the only one in my co-pilot, and my bed is only for you to sleep. Runan listened to how the more outrageous she spoke, but she was still beautiful in her heart. Now their love is finally stable. Now Fayer is troubled, Ellie hasn't come to me for many days, and there is not a single message. Help me analyze what is going on. Runan said, she doesn't look for you, then you go to him. Fayer said, yes, no one has a rule that a man must take the initiative in love. At first, Fayer didn't agree. Phil said, anyway, I'm also a big star, so I can't take the initiative first. The words were beautiful, but in the evening she couldn't help but find Ellie's house and confess to her, I like you. Ellie had been waiting for her for a long time, but she had a request before agreeing. Ellie said, you have to prove to the world that I am your boyfriend. Fayer immediately started a live broadcast and announced that she was in love. Before he could finish speaking, Ellie kissed him all of a sudden, Chin Fayer, I love you. Qiansha also gave up her love for Star, chasing him for so long without responding, and she was tired. After the breakup, she found Song Ziheo, and Qiansha said, I will never love again in my life. This frightened Song Ziheo, because he had always liked Qiansha. Song Ziheo said, you can't be so extreme, don't you walk after falling once? Crying once and not eating. You can look back at me. Song Ziheo said, even if you don't like me now, I can continue to chase you. Here, Runan received a call from Mr. Zhao, because he was about to leave, and he still wanted to say goodbye to Runan before leaving. Mr. Zhao said, I have done a lot of paranoid things before, which has caused you trouble, do you regret knowing me? In fact, Runan didn't blame him for a long time, and she and Mr. G are doing so well now. On the day they left, the two stood at the airport for a long time. Su Xiao said, brother, let's not go in, right? If we leave like this, it may be another 3 years, or even longer. Are you sure you won't see him again? Su Xiao had completely let go, and the two had already said goodbye. As a result, as soon as they entered, Mr. G and Runan arrived in a panic and saw that their flight was about to go in. Runan asked him to call and ask first, but found that Su Xiao had changed his number. Maybe she didn't want to see the parting scene. Star won the Best Newcomer award through his own efforts, and the person he is most grateful for is Runan. It is the hard work of Sister Runan's cultivation that has made me where I am today. Star's acting career is also on the right track. I hope her future career will become smoother and smoother. However, what Runan is most grateful to is Mr. G, you have always been with me. And Mr. G also planned to propose to Runan, thinking of giving her a surprise. So he asked Phil and Ellie for help, and he drew the design draft. Cut and make overnight, made a unique wedding dress for Runan with his own hands, and did not go home until dawn. Runan suspected that he didn't come back last night and where he went, but he said that he wanted to show the new series with the employees, and Runan believed it. G, who was free, finally had time to eat with her, and prepared a mysterious gift for Runan. When Runan saw it, he said, wouldn't it be such an old-fashioned bridge? Please, I don't accept it. Mr. G said, you open it first. As a result, she opened it and took a look. It turned out to be an invitation, and he was instantly disappointed. It's so mysterious, just give me an invitation. In fact, Mr. G has secretly prepared everything. It was a new product launch soon, and he was surprised by Star's sudden appearance, and Mr. G asked, aren't you filming? Star said, of course I have to rush back on such an important day. Mr. G said, it's just a press conference, what's so important? Everyone knew that Mr. G was going to propose to her today, but Runan was kept in the dark. Soon Fayer found her again and said that her stomach hurt so badly. Let Runan play for her. But she didn't take the stage at all. Fayer immediately called Star, and Fayer said, you don't have to be afraid, Star is with you. Coupled with Fayer's bitter pleading, Runan finally agreed. But when she changed into her wedding dress, she always felt that something was wrong. Runan asked, this dress is your size, it should be one size smaller, why am I wearing it just right? Fayer said, don't care about those details. Oh. Runan, accompanied by Star, walked up the catwalk step by step, and the audience immediately burst into warm applause. Star said, I wish you happiness. Watching Star exit, and Mr. G took the stage at this time and took her hand. It was also at this moment that she realized that this was a large-scale proposal scene arranged by Mr. G. This dress is called Brilliant, and its design concept is Meet the Bright You. Mr. G took out the ring and knelt down on one knee. Mr. G said, "This ring is tailor-made for you and unique. Our love economic contract, I want to sign it to you for the rest of my life." At this moment, Runan shed tears of happiness. Mr. G asked, "Can you marry me?" Runan replied, "I do." People in the audience sent them blessings. Mr. G personally put on a diamond ring for Runan. The two have experienced so much and finally come together happily. The story ends here. Thank you for your support, and may you in front of the screen also have lovers and finally get married.